I'm Christopher Lott with your Sactown Sports headlines. Week 5 of the NFL came to an end last night on Monday Night Football, and the Raiders ended their 3-game losing streak with a 17-13 win over the Packers. Quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo was 22 of 31, throwing for 208 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Week 6 of the NFL gets started this Thursday with the Chiefs hosting the Denver Broncos on Thursday Night Football. You can listen to Thursday's game right here on Sactown Sports. Sacramento Kings are off tonight. They'll be back in action tomorrow night in Anaheim when they take on the Los Angeles Lakers. You can listen to tomorrow's game right here on Sactown Sports. Reminder, all guests come to you via the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Those are your headlines. Now let's get started with the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone. And then boom,
with Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he.
Guy.
So he went from cowboy, what was he? Frankie the Cowboy?
King's Cowboy.
To the pizza guy.
Yes.
You pizza guy? I'm pizza guy. He is going to join us at around.
I think that should be the first question.
Yeah. About being a pizza guy?
Are you a pizza guy?
Yeah. I'm a pizza guy. You a pizza guy? He is going to join us. It's around 7:45. We are going to visit with Sean Salisbury at 8:15. We've got all our regular things in between, whether it's 3 for Madness, Safe or Out, look back at the Raiders' thrilling win, 4 down territory, Niners at 9, NFL top 5, bottom 5. We'll streak. We've got crosstalk. We got celebrity birthdays. We've got it all coming your way. And we thank you for those of you that are up this morning bright and early, checking us out on our YouTube. Hello, how are you? You can see me. You can see Christopher Lott kind of through the haze there of the screen. We still have, by the way, if you can look at Chris's screen, this is for those of you on YouTube, not a radio, but I'll try to describe the best we can. There is a glass between Chris and I, actually multiple pieces of glass, and separating the two studios. Chris, you might remember there's still a dollar bill taped on your side of the glass and a dollar bill taped on this side of the glass, which surprisingly in radio, that's been there a good 3 years and nobody's taken it.
It might even be.
It might be more.
No.
That's about the range, right? I know for a pretty good fact that the dollar bill on this side is from Doug Christie.
Yes.
In my mind, I'm recalling the dollar bill on that side is you or Jay Johnson.
Jay Johnson.
Do you recall the bet?
It was the Niners versus the Seahawks.
Well, the game has happened.
Yes.
Do we know who won?
So I want to say it was the Niners won, and they basically is like, oh, leave it up there, double or nothing.
And we never got to the double or
Never
nothing.
got to the double or nothing.
So we got a Doug Christie dollar and a Jay John. I mean, honestly, in this, not only business, but the people we work with. How stunning is it that those dollars are still there?
I want to say that people just think that they're fake.
Maybe at this point, it's like just part of the decor. Because, I mean, look, if there's change sitting around, people are scooping that up. I know that cash is used less anywhere, seemingly, but
Oh, man, I'm out of cash.
I'm not. I got $2. Well, give me back my $2. Well, anybody wants it, it's sitting right there. It's sitting right there for you. So you and I have worked together long enough. Like we saw each other for about 2 seconds right when I first got here. And we basically finished each other's sandwiches.
Yes.
Sentences. We said the same thing, the same joke. I can't even remember what it was.
It was ROADs.
Yes.
After my amazing joke that I made and
Yes.
you didn't get.
I didn't like it. I didn't like it. But we both somehow got to ROADs from Black Sheep, the offshoot. I don't know if that was a sequel, but it was the same guys from Tommy Boy. It wasn't a sequel. They weren't the same characters, right? I don't think so.
No.
Yeah. But it just felt like it was not far after Tommy Boy. And actually, that movie is funnier than people think. It just, I don't know. I haven't seen it nearly as much as Tommy Boy. But the point of all that is you were telling me earlier. You
wouldn't know who's a huge fan of that movie.
Who?
Former worker here at the station, Cody. Cody?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Used to be a huge fan of that?
No, I mean, like, she used to work here, but I know is a huge fan of that movie.
Yeah. Cody Baylor.
Baylor?
Baylor.
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't know that. But you told me you were going to see a movie this evening, and I haven't been to that many movies. That used to be a regular thing. It just obviously when I wouldn't even say COVID, when the lockdown happened, when movies were literally shut down, and then even after that, I bet I've been to I know less than 5 movies since, which is very abnormal for me. We used to be right. I don't know. We just haven't been. But you're going to a movie tonight.
Yes.
And when you said that, I'm thinking, I don't even know what's out currently. What are you going to see?
I think it's When Evil Lurks.
You think?
Yeah, I think that's the name of it.
Is it worth me looking up to see how close the title you are to the title?
I can actually look it up. Let me see.
What? Oh, yeah, it came up right away. When Evil Lurks, 2023 film. I've got to guess. Oh, remember when you used to be able to guess the movie plots?
Yes.
That I would say, oh, Chris, you got to see this. And I'm like, oh, you don't know what it's about. And then you would basically.
I would say, no, I don't want to see it because I know what it's going to be about.
And I go, no, you haven't even seen it. Tell me what it's about. And then you'd say, darn it, Chris. It's pretty much exactly what you said. I don't know what this is, but obviously it's going to be something scary. You like scary movies.
Yes.
What's the draw to this?
Some people I follow on Twitter are saying really good things about it.
Quick write-up of this in a remote village.
Oh, I don't want to know.
Oh, sorry. Okay. I didn't know that. Then never mind.
You're good.
Honestly, the brief, I'm seeing part of the trailer right now. What was the movie that you showed me the trailer for? Lamb or something?
Yeah.
Okay. This has some of those vibes that I'm looking at.
Yeah.
But I didn't see Lamb.
Yes.
Was Lamb good?
I know that this movie, I think it's in Spanish.
Oh, okay.
And I think it has to do with like possession or something like that.
What is the draw for you for scary movies?
I think it's like, you know how people go skydiving and stuff like that? Like,
There's
I'm not going to do
thrill,
anything
there's a
like
rush.
that. It's just like you want something to get your heart beating.
Okay. And I also know you like movies sometimes if they're just so epically bad.
Yes.
They're good to you.
Yeah.
Are most scary movies that, or does it even matter? It doesn't even matter if they're just, if there's a premise that they're scary.
Hmm.
Because I mean, is there, I guess my question would be, is there a scary movie trailer that you've gone, oh gosh, no, that looks
See, I don't watch
terrible.
trailers.
Okay. Again, then I don't know how, I guess it's word of mouth is what you hear.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that premise.
I've got a good enough, like,
People
following
that
a
you
good enough
follow.
people to it's just like, if multiple people are like, this is really good.
and nobody's really let you down
Yeah.
and that kind of thing. I mean, there's always something that we've all said, or as I'm sure it's happened to anybody that's late to seeing a movie when everyone's like, oh, it's so good. Then you go in like, I heard this is great. And you're like, oh, it was fine. People are like, fine. I'm like, I guess because everybody built it up.
That's what Step Brothers was for me.
Oh, man. But over time, I think.
Okay, I get it. But it was friend of the station, Dave Deuce Mason, saying, this is literally the greatest comedy of all time. There is not going to be a second that you are not laughing throughout this entire movie.
You of all people. It is a pretty great movie. And it's a great rewatch movie.
But at the time, it's just like, okay, it's funny, but like...
Yeah. The one I had like that lived up to it to me was Hangover. I felt I was so late to I still saw it in the theater, but everyone's like, you've got to see this movie. I'm like, okay, I want to, but I feel like now I don't think it can be as good as everyone's saying. And I really enjoyed that one in the theater.
Yeah.
Hangover was really good.
That's one of the ones, that and Superbad, like around that time, if you went to the theater and it's packed and like just the people laughing was insane.
It's a good thing and a bad thing. There's been times at funny movies that you're within the first 2 to 3 weeks of in crowded theaters, you miss some of the humor.
Yeah.
But it's okay because it's just you're still laughing at the joke from 3 lines ago. So When Evil Lurks, will we have a movie review tomorrow?
Sure.
Okay. Sure. Charmin.
I'm going to guess that it's going to be a movie that nobody else wants to see.
Probably. I don't think you're going to be spoiling things. And if you are, then it'll probably be in the opening segment tomorrow. So just for reference for those of us up this early listening to the show and want to know more about Christopher Laud's scary movie taste, your top 3 scary movies, your ranking.
Hereditary.
Oh, yeah. You've said a lot about that one.
The Shining.
Okay.
And this one is like, just for me, I don't think it's the scariest movie. But it's just like, it was one of those movies where it got me, you kind of fall in and out of horror movies. This was just like, oh man, this is incredible. It Follows. Oh. That's one of my favorite movies.
So I've seen The Shining. I know what you told me about Hereditary.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of like more of the suspense scary.
Yes.
Than,
stabbing
and chopping people up in the 95 pieces. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, is Saw that way? I haven't seen any of those, but I assume it was. They just cut people up and ruthlessly. Okay. Not for me. Those aren't. But I mean, the suspense can get you in the heartbeat thing. Yeah, for sure. I just don't like when there's the purposeful, like the music and the, just the tense part. And then there's like, unless it really lives up to sometimes when they fake the music noise, like
no movie was like that, and it wasn't a horror movie, but it was like the same type of feeling and like, oh my God, what's going to happen? And don't do this, don't do that was Uncut Gems.
Like, what do you mean?
Like, it's got that feeling like the music is building and you're like freaking out.
So
you feel
intense.
Like anxious.
Yeah. Yeah. I still, believe it or not, that's one of the few movies that I didn't finish. And that's weird. Not by my I don't think my wife loved that one that much. And so we were a good portion in. I go, well, I got to go back. And I never, now that you say that, that's probably, I didn't see it right away, but it's been.
Do you know how it ended?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it's been 2 years probably. I have to start over. I mean, I've got the premise. Adam Sandler was pretty good in that.
He's very good at. People don't realize he's an amazing actor.
Comedians do a pretty good job, I think. Like Steve other Robin Williams, other people that were kind of known as comedians, if they get into more serious roles, sometimes are pretty good.
My guy Will Forte.
Yeah?
Yeah.
In what?
Nebraska.
Okay. Whatever happened to his show that you love, Last Man on Earth?
Last Man on Earth. They just canceled it.
Okay.
That was, watching that during COVID, it's like, this is this is scarily reminiscent of it.
Too accurate at the time. All right. Well, we'll get a movie review from Chris tomorrow. When we come back, we've got leading off. We've got to talk about the baseball playoffs, what happened last night, a great comeback by the Braves, and the Raiders found a way to win in Monday Night Football. We've got that next.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Nature Wood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
One of the reasons people buy new cars is because of the warranty. They don't want to have to worry about things breaking and the fear of unexpected repair costs. But did you know Elk Grove Kia has one of the longest warranties around at 20 years or 200,000 miles? No other Kia dealer offers that. You would have to be a real to buy from anyone other than Elk Grove Kia. And if you're worried about financing, don't. Elk Grove Kia believes in second, third, and sometimes fourth chances because Elk Grove Kia's management team has over 100 years of combined automotive experience. We know how to say yes, a lot more than the others do. Collections, past due bills, repos, bankruptcies. Your job is your credit. So where others fail to get you into your new ride, we can get you qualified. Let Elk Grove Kia show you why we're out to be the #1 Kia dealer in California. So when you're ready for some peace of mind and a friendly face, come visit us. Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or check us out online at elkgrovekia.com.
Elk Grove Kia. Let's do it. Leading off, the 3 top stories in the morning.
Huge news. This is very important.
Here's cut number 1.
All right, before we get to cut number 1, Chris, some entries from our YouTube listeners and viewers. Jeepers Creepers, movie reference. Did you see that?
A long time ago. I can't tell you what it's about.
How about Midsummer?
Great movie.
Great. Scary?
Yes.
Suspense, like horror suspense?
Yes. And it's one of the few ones where it's all in daylight.
Oh, wow.
So that kind of creeps you out.
Yeah.
Specifically.
But still scary.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. It is time for leading off. Let's get to cut number 1.
Shotgun snap. 3-step drop. Eyeing the middle. Pressure up the middle. Long. Out of the pocket. Throws downfield for the end zone. Intercepted! Amik Robertson in the back corner. Picks it off in front of Watson. And the Raiders defense just seals the victory here in Vegas.
Yeah, Meek Robertson saved the day, saved the Raiders, saved Josh McDaniels. I'm more for being aggressive. Don't coach scared, though. I mean, I actually understood the logic of McDaniels going for the field goal when he did. He's got a good kicker in Daniel Carlson. Either way, had he made it, they would have been up 7. Probably. Let's go through the logic of that. You make the kick, you're up 7, you kick off. Likely the field position is around the 20, 25-yard line, and you make the Packers go, 75 yards under 2 minutes, and you're in pretty good shape. We've seen teams give that up, but instead, field goal, doink, off the upright. Packers have a chance. Shorter field with confidence. A touchdown now beats you. But again, if you ran that ball, 4th and 1, while Jacobs is running, I think you got to evaluate the game too. And the Raiders, to their credit, we've seen this, I know in the last 2 seasons under McDaniels, I remember they had it early this year against the Broncos in their first win, and then I know they did it at least once or twice last year on 4th and short. They've passed deep ball to Devontae Adams, playing one-on-one on the outside, and he just goes and makes a play. So I think there were some options there to end the game in their own hands. Sometimes you need the defense to do it. It didn't matter in the end. The Raiders did win, a much-needed win, and it felt like for the time being kind of a season-saving win. They certainly weren't mathematically done, but if you go to 1-4 with one win being in week 1 and being at Denver, I think a lot of questions are out there. They didn't solve all the answers to those questions, but hey, just win. They did that. They're now 2 wins on the season. They got a home win, a rare one against the Packers, since 1987, I believe. So good job, Raiders, picking up win number 2 of the season. Let's get to cut number 2.
Cut number 2.
3-2 pitch. And he hits a high fly ball, deep left field, back to the wall, and is gone! Austin Riley hitting him where it hurts, and the Braves take the lead in the 8th. The Braves have erupted. They've taken the lead, and this place is an insane asylum. They're going crazy.
Well, they weren't early. I can tell you this. Talk about season saving. They would have been down 0-2 going to Philadelphia, 100-win team, best team in baseball, best offense in baseball, shutout. In fact, no hit for a good portion of that game. Atlanta was quiet. They were stunned. and then the comeback started to happen. That put them up. The game-ending double play was fantastic. First time in baseball history. An outfield to infield double play has happened like that. Just incredible baseball game at the back end of that. Braves even the series. They go to Philadelphia tied at 1. That was much needed for one of the favorites in this baseball postseason. All right, last cut in leading off.
Cut number 3.
1-2. Swing and a fly ball, left field, well struck, going back Peralta at the track, turns, looks, and it's gone. Solo shot for Gurriel. It's his first of the postseason, and the Diamondbacks get that run right back. It's 4-1.
Uh-oh, Dodger fans. Down 0-2, going to Arizona on the brink of elimination. Another very good baseball team in trouble. Another reminder for those that don't watch baseball at all or don't watch the 162, pitching makes a difference. Quality pitching, especially in the postseason. I won't say it's undefeated, but it is such an advantage if you can get great pitching. And the Diamondbacks have had that through 2 games. The Dodgers have a very good offense too. They haven't been able to string hits together. They had an opportunity, I think it was in the 6th with the bases loaded and 1 out. Missed that opportunity when it was 4-2. And so the Diamondbacks, who got off to had a good stretch after the All-Star break and were one of the better teams going in baseball at the time, then completely fell apart, regrouped a bit at the end, and just got into the field. What do they say? A chip and a chair. And they worked themselves through the opening round, the wild card round, and now they lead one of the favorites, the Dodgers, 2-0, going home. Incredible. Postseason baseball is awesome. And we had 2 memorable games last night to close out the National League front 2. Now they changed venues in the American League. We got 2 American League games today. And so this is fun. This is the best time of year to me for baseball fans. It might be odd this year. I know it is for me. I think what was the stat since 35 years since we've had a postseason that had the Cardinals, the Yankees, or the Red Sox. So some regular teams that you're used to seeing aren't there. Giants fans and A's fans obviously not being there, but baseball has become probably more regional in the last 20 years than ever before. So if you're not a Rangers fan, Twins, Astros, Braves, pick your team, it may not intrigue you as much, and I understand that. But when you get down to actual game, the game being played, the decisions being made, the strategy of the sport, postseason's awesome. And we're right in the thick of it right now, enjoying some pretty good postseason baseball. We'll have more to attack on that coming up in Safe or Out. We got a couple of good things to debate because and including one that we're going to recycle from yesterday where we played a highlight and Chris and I both kind of looked at each other and went, wait, why was that being played by the Texas Rangers? Oh, we've cracked the code. We've got the answer to that. Little surprising, but hey, it goes in that category of whatever works for you. Keep going with it. All right, so when we come back, we've got Safe or Out. We got an update from Chris as well as we continue here on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Can the Niners build off their NFC Championship appearance from last season? How will the quarterbacks perform throughout the year?
Purdy back, now going to throw for the end zone, wide open, Brandon Ayuk is on fire!
Will the defense lead this squad again?
Intercepted! Ball got tipped up and taken by Fred Warner!
Get all your 49er coverage throughout the NFL season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Hey there, Jason Ross here to tell you about my friends at Quick Quack Car Wash. And what they're doing here is a proud partner of the Sacramento Kings. They can't wait for this upcoming season, neither can I, and they want to celebrate. So Quick Quack is giving one lucky duck a pair of lower-level tickets to the Kings home opener versus Golden State. That game, of course, on October 27th. It's going to be an incredible atmosphere. We want to see you out there, and you can be out there. All you have to do is enter for your chance to win this epic opening night showdown by going to SactownSports.com. Be there for the Kings versus Golden State, courtesy of Quick Quack, where you can wash your car all you want with an unlimited membership.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's Tuesday. We're out the door to a cool enough start to have a jacket. For the afternoon, expect to see a mix of sun and clouds with afternoon highs pushing into the lower 70s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Shop Folsom Lake Kia for all your favorite models at low prices and payments, plus low finance rates and zero down deals with approved credit. Go see my friends at Folsom Lake Kia right here in Sacramento for over 20 years.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts report at a frosty 29 degrees. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Get wings the way you want them. Try Twin Peaks wings bone-in breaded, naked, smoked and grilled, or boneless in your favorite sauce or rub.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions, not available in all areas. If you're a small business owner, listen up. Pi Insurance wants to give you one of those aha moments, the kind that could save you money. Workers' comp is probably one of the biggest costs you face. But did you know that insurance providers have flexibility in setting their prices? That's right. But many don't bother giving small businesses the savings you deserve. Instead, you can get lumped in with other businesses and overcharged. Pi Insurance was created to change that. With Pi, you get a quote tailored specifically to your business, and you could save up to 30% with no hassle and no hidden fees. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate. So your workers' comp audit experience is simplified. Take 3 minutes to see how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or go to trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
I love being a bartender. I love waiting tables. But at the end of my shift, my feet were killing me. And so I had to pretend like I was having a good time. And really, I couldn't wait to sit down. But it wasn't just my feet. It was also my knees were achy. A lot of neck pain, too. I was in so much pain. I kind of lost hope, really. And then I saw the Good Feet store, and that's when everything changed.
For over 20 years, we've helped people like Kristen enjoy their work again without their feet getting in the way.
It was pretty shocking to realize that I'd been in so much pain, and suddenly I'm completely pain-free. Now that I have the Good Feet arch supports, I don't have to pretend to be happy. I'm genuinely happy. So, cheers. My name is Kristen, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville.
NorCal Sportsman Show, October 14th, 18th at the grounds in Roseville.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Lauder with your Sactown Sports headlines. Week 5 of the NFL came to an end last night on Monday Night Football, and the Raiders ended their 3-game losing streak with a 17-13 win over the Green Bay Packers. Quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo was 22 of 31, throwing for 208 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Week 6 of the NFL gets started this Thursday with the Chiefs hosting the Denver Broncos on Thursday Night Football. You can listen to Thursday's game right here on Sactown Sports. Sacramento Kings are off tonight. They'll be back in action tomorrow in Anaheim when they play the Los Angeles Lakers. You can listen to tomorrow's game right here on Sactown Sports. Reminder, all guests come to you via the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Safe or out? It's time to go around baseball. 3 pitches, 3 swings. It's safe or out on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
All right, it is time for Safe or Out. A reminder, coming up still on the show, Frankie Cardicelli will stop by. We'll have him in studio for about 30 minutes, a couple segments with him. Sean Salisbury will be in a little bit later as well. We'll talk to him around 8:15 or so. Yesterday had a really good conversation with Matt Barrows of The Athletic, and still so much talk about what the 49ers did on Sunday night and the way Brock Purdy played, Fred Warner, just the collective performance by the 49ers. We'll reflect on that. A chance, if you missed that interview, we'll play that when we come back in our next segment. Really good chance to catch up with him yesterday. So we'll have that coming your way. But it is time for Safe or Out. So 3 questions, Safe or Out style, starting with number 1, Chris.
So far, we have a 99-win team eliminated and 2 100-win teams in trouble. Safe or Out, this is good for Major League Baseball.
You know what? I think this is out, believe it or not. And part of it is, well, there's 2 parts here. It probably is fine, I guess, in the postseason because there are, no loyalties to the sport as far as how great of a season. We know Seattle Mariners have had one of the greatest regular seasons of all time several years back, and they lost in the playoffs. We've seen the Warriors have a 73-win season. It gets a lot of attention for the team, but then you want, when you get to the postseason, for that team to complete the deal and then have be called one of the greatest teams of all time. So we've been saying that about the Braves. Statistically, what their offense has done, they've been talked about as one of the best offenses we've ever seen. Unless they had the comeback last night, they would have been down 0-2 heading to Philadelphia. Now they're even, so they may have stayed alive. We've already had the Rays as a 99-win team bounced in the wild card round. We have the Dodgers in trouble. We have the Orioles in trouble. And why I say this is bad for baseball is the 162, which isn't for everybody, but for those that kind of watch it on a regular basis that get still, I don't even know the term, romanticized over baseball and the stats and just the journey of the grind of the 162 games. If you spent your time as fans of those teams watching all 162 or close to it or really following closely, and then you get to here where it's the best baseball and you're almost out, that's painful. So I think storylines are built during the regular season, what individuals have, whether it was a year ago, Aaron Judge, this year, a guy like Ronald Acuna Jr., what Shohei Ohtani did, all those things you spotlight during the regular season, and then you hope come to fruition into even better play come postseason. Well, Shohei's not in the postseason this year. Acuna Jr., with the exception of the comeback yesterday, was on the brink of maybe being eliminated. So I think it's out. I think it's bad for baseball that those teams could be gone. Now they still have a chance to come back, but I think it makes it rough. All right, let's go to cut number 2.
We joked about it yesterday, but apparently the word is out. The Texas Rangers as a team are crediting their late season and playoff success to the band Creed. Safe or out, this is a good look for the Rangers.
I don't even know what to say. Let me see if I can play oh, here's the cut from yesterday.
Swinging a high fly ball deep out into left field. Hayes going back. Mitch Garver, can you take me higher? You most definitely can. A grand slam for Mitch Garver to give Texas a 9-2 lead.
Can you take me higher? Well, it's not just, we wondered when we played that clip yesterday. Then you read stories about it, Chris, where like everybody on the Rangers is all in on Creed. Bruce Bochy's been asked about it. He's talking about it. I don't know which pitcher or player it started from, but they found their secret sauce. So to me, I say safe. If they credit them and they believe in it, ride the wave. Who was it? Josh Reddick of the A's at one time changed his walk-up music to Careless Whisper by Wham. The whole place in Oakland, everybody's singing it. I mean, it's a slow song, a ballad, but it worked for him. He got hot, and then he just stuck with it for a while. I mean, I don't know, whether it's superstition or weird things. I think it's always been kind of trendy, fashionable, whatever, to make fun of Creed, Nickelback, bands like that. If you like them, you like them. And apparently the Rangers, I don't know if it started out of a joke or if it was legit, but they seem to be supporting it.
See, I would be the guy on the team that hates this.
Because
you're telling me to like Creed, and then we have to listen to Creed every single day.
But if you all of a sudden are just 3 of 4 every day, or your team's winning all the time, I don't think you would care.
Yeah, you have to go with it.
At this point, you have to be a part of the team. But
I wouldn't like it.
When they haven't lost a playoff game. They won the 2 against the Rays. They've won the first 2 against the Orioles. Remember the 100-win team. And if they win tonight to end it, I mean, you got to keep going with Creed, right?
Yeah, and then going with that is, wait, how are these 100-win teams like doing poorly? Well, they haven't played in 4 to 5 days.
Some of them, yeah.
And so you
There's
just
such
get
a rhythm to the sport.
Yeah, you don't have 4 to 5 days off ever throughout the entire season,
with the exception of the All-Star break.
Yeah,
right? But that's it.
And every other team is the same break.
Yeah, and some of the teams that were wild card teams or just scratching to get in kind of had to play playoff baseball for the last 2 or 3 weeks, and then they're already in that mode. So, but pitching can be the equalizer, or apparently Creed. What other bands would get that kind of, Creed, Nickelback's like that, right? And I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's just they have been Creed's like that a little bit.
I could see like a team getting into Backstreet Boys or something like that.
Yeah, something that, maybe.
Or some team that has to play Gangnam Style before every game.
But, that's like one song. Unless I'm sure he has more, none that I know of. Who's that, Psy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird how certain bands get kind of labeled that way. But certainly they have. And, hey, if the Rangers believe in Creed, keep going with Creed. All right, third one on Safer Out.
Safer Out. The Rangers close out the Orioles tonight.
You know what? I think that's safe. I think they do it not because of Creed per se, but it's because of the way they're playing. The Rangers, we played the highlight there, but here's how Game 2 ended.
He struck him out swinging, and the Rangers take Game 2. They have won the first 2 games of this best of 5 in Baltimore. The final today, 11-8.
I don't know what the reaction will be to coming home, but up 2-0. They haven't had a home playoff game yet, right? They had to play the first series, the wild card series in Tampa, won those 2-0, or won the series 2-0. They've been dominant. Here's their score log: 4-0, 7-1, 3-2. They edged the Orioles in Game 1, and then 11-8. So they've been able to win low-scoring games. They've been able to score runs. It's a confident team. We've talked about Bruce Bochy before as, the difference maker in the playoffs as a playoff manager. And let's also remember that Texas, they still did win 90 games. They didn't have their best weapons come postseason time. I think they would have been more dangerous with a healthy Jacob deGrom and Max Scherzer. But here they are, feeling good, looking good, with a record at the moment of 4-0 in the postseason. I didn't ask you this, Chris. I know in the past you were a Red Sox fan. You've kind of dimmed on that, right?
Yeah.
Who would you want with what's left? Rangers, Orioles, Astros, Twins, Dodgers, Diamondbacks, or Phillies, Braves? Like, I don't even know if you have a team you're rooting for at all, but of the pool, who would you want?
I guess the Rangers.
They're the one that hasn't won one.
Yeah.
And you like
the Orioles.
Rangers,
Twins.
Orioles have been a long time.
I would say Rangers, Orioles, Twins.
Astros too recently. Dodgers, yeah.
And they're cheaters. Oh, Frontline did a great documentary on the cheating scandal.
Of the Astros?
Uh-huh. And they do the whole Frontline
approach to it?
Approach. It's they take it very seriously.
Okay. I didn't see that.
It's very good.
Yeah. What was the best part of that, or what did you
It's just one of those things that's just you kind of have an idea of what was going on, but they weren't taking it that seriously. Oh,
they were.
This was years in the making.
Uh-huh. Wow.
And it was it was just win at any cost type of mentality.
Mm-hmm. And it worked, I guess.
Yeah, it did work.
For a title. Yeah, I think people, obviously, if you're a fan of any of those teams you're in, I'm trying to think National League. Diamondbacks would be the one. They've won one. It was early 2000s, but I don't feel like there's a lot of allegiance to that team.
No, I would guess in the National League, the Phillies.
Yeah, but it hasn't been that long. Braves, Dodgers, the fresh bloods in the American League, right? With the longest drought being the Twins or the Orioles. Well, the Orioles have the longest drought, but then the Rangers without one. I think there's some charm in that, but charm in that. All right, so there you go. That is Safe or Out. Still to come on the show, as we mentioned, we do have a deeper dive into the Raiders' win on Monday night last night over the Packers, a much-needed win. Frankie Cardicelli, Sean Salisbury. But when we come back, yesterday had a chance to reflect and talk about just the dominating performance by the San Francisco 49ers on Monday night. They took the Cowboys' spirit away. Brock Purdy looked awesome. George Kittle with his massive day. Just a dominating performance by the Niners. And if you think about it, like a 6-possession sequence at one point in the second half, it was touchdown, interception, touchdown, interception, touchdown, interception. The Niners got the separation. They made the statement. Cowboys are questioning themselves. We'll reflect on all of that, a conversation I had with Matt Barrows from The Athletic. That is coming your way next here on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
A psoriasis flare-up can make a walk in the park, well, no walk in the park.
It's that obvious, huh? I've tried so many lotions and creams, but I still have symptoms.
So those don't do enough to treat the inflammation beneath the skin, leaving you with those uncontrolled symptoms.
Makes sense, but what else can I do?
You can get real with your dermatologist so they can help you get clear. Make an appointment and, you're already on it.
Hi, yes, I'd like to make an appointment.
Get real clear about psoriasis at letsgetrealclear.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
O'Reilly. Protect your vehicle's engine with Syntec and O'Reilly Auto Parts. Syntec Premium Full Synthetic Motor Oil is formulated for today's engines to dissipate heat and friction and reduce wear. Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select filter for just $33.99. Limit supply. See store for details. Get Syntec only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
As a roofer, I'm always on the go, so I need to be able to get things done from anywhere. That's why I partner with Beacon. With the Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like Certainty Landmark Pro, right at my fingertips. It's like having my Beacon rep in my pocket 24/7. I rely on Beacon because I never stop building, and neither do they. Now through November, purchase Certainty through Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $750. Beacon. Always building.
At Ashton & Price, over the last 25 years, we've won just about every injury case you can think of. Slip and fall, falling merchandise, fell through rotted decking, we won those. Dangerous stairs, falls into holes, dog bites, won them. Injured while pedestrian or on a bicycle, auto, motorcycle, big rig, company vehicle, Uber, or Lyft accident, we've won them all. And the best news is there's no fee until you win. So no matter how you got injured,
remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger. Because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
O'Reilly. Protect your vehicle's engine with Syntec and O'Reilly Auto Parts. Syntec Premium Full Synthetic Motor Oil is formulated for today's engines to dissipate heat and friction and reduce wear. Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select filter for just $33.99. Limit supply. See store for details. Get Syntec only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave letting you know Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room and primetime football location is back. Cap Casino giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Check it out. Capital Casino. And as always, please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
On Sactown Sports.
Of course, Matt Barrows comes to you every Monday via The Athletic. It is brought to you by Stockton Honda, Northern California's #1 Honda dealer. Matt joining me, Jason Ross. Dave is off today. Matt, how are you this morning?
I'm a little tired, I'm going to admit. It was a late night,
But, boy, I've covered very few games like that where it's just, domination of a very good team. I think that's what makes it different. It sort of reminds me of the 2019 NFC Championship game where the 49ers just literally ran roughshod over the Green Bay Packers and only had to throw the ball 8 times in that game. Their ground game was so dominant. Raheem Mostert had a huge game. This game was a little bit of everything. I mean, that was Kyle Shanahan's point afterward, is that all 3 phases showed up in this game like never before this season. And, sometimes Shanahan, tries to play it cool after a big win and doesn't want to overplay it. After this one, he couldn't help but kind of show his excitement because I think he knew that this type of performance was there. And they've gotten close, but the theme after the first 4 wins was always, there was more in the tank. There was more we could have done. The score was fine, but we could have scored more points. In this one, I felt like he felt the 49ers kind of had tapped out everything that they had. And that must be a really great feeling for a head coach when you see your team performing on all cylinders.
Yeah, I think the only parallel from this season I would have, Matt, would be the Pittsburgh game, the way they started that almost till about 2 minutes left in the half. But it wasn't a 4-quarter game. They were really good and they dominated the game, but that first quarter plus, they were so sharp. Yesterday, it really was 4 quarters of offense, defense, special teams, and they just took the Cowboys' spirit away.
Yeah, it's true. The team that gets up quick can lapse, and you saw that in the Cardinals game. There was a blowout win, but there were periods where the defense seemed to doze off a little bit. It wasn't a dominating performance from that unit. Last night was dominance by the defense. The special teams looked really good. Mitch Wishnowsky was on fire, and then Purdy, George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey in that offense was virtually unstoppable.
Yeah, and that's the thing I got to believe that's a nightmare for opposing defenses because the Cowboys did come in with a pretty proud defense. I think the Niners just took Micah Parsons completely out of the game. You just never really felt like he was a factor. But, Matt, I don't know what you do because I would say they did a decent job on McCaffrey. It's certainly one of his lesser statistical games, though he still was a factor. But then, Purdy can pick you apart. And then this was Kittle. There's been a Debo game. We know there's been Ayuk games. I just, right now, between the play calling and the confidence this offense has, I said this earlier, Matt, if they continue to live in that 30-point or more range, I don't know how you beat the 49ers.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, if they can get to 30, that defense is good enough to keep them down. I mean, things will pop up. I mean, right now we're waiting on a biceps injury to left guard Aaron Banks, who was off to a fantastic season. And there was a little bit of optimism that it wasn't a season ender, but biceps injury is kind of scary. You don't want to hear that if you're an offensive lineman. My point is that something like that could crop up at any point. And that would be, I don't want to say devastating, but you start to kind of tap into your depth at offensive line. And as you see around the league, that really doesn't exist on most teams. The offensive lines are pretty skimpy as it is. So that could be an issue. But you're right. I mean, this was dominant. To your point, I think that the Cowboys' game plan was very much stop McCaffrey. I mean, of course it was. And it's something that they did really well in the playoffs last year. But when a team is sort of committing, throwing everything at one facet of the offense, Shanahan has a way of making you pay for that. And I remember going into SoFi Stadium in 2021, that big Week 18 game that year, and it was Debo this, Debo that. Everything was about Debo. And the Rams just sold out to stop him. And on one play, he ran to the outside and then stopped and threw a pass to Juwan Jennings for a touchdown. So Shanahan can beat you if you overcommit to one area, and I think that was sort of the impetus of that trick play last night in the second quarter that really started to break things open. The Cowboys had committed to stopping that particular stretch zone run by Christian McCaffrey, and when they overcommitted, the 49ers made them pay. So it was creative, it was dominant, it was a little bit of everything last night.
Yeah, and if anybody hasn't seen it, you can check out Matt's work at The Athletic. You're call the play. That's the play called Gumby, correct?
That's the play called Gumby because it's a stretch. It's one of their zone stretch runs. That's the staple of their offense. Those runs to the outside by Christian McCaffrey, which are led by George Kittle, and so you do that 3 times, and on the 4th time, you throw a flea flicker. It's a very simple formula, for a W.
Yeah, you can check out Matt's work at The Athletic. And Matt, I don't know, for you just professionally as a writer, when you're covering a team, when so many things are going well, not that we're looking for trouble, but sometimes do you find it easier if it's, hey, this is going on, team needs to address this and fix this? Right now, that list is pretty small.
Yeah, when people, ask me about, what are some issues the 49ers could face over the first 4 weeks, you had to kind of get creative. You had to strain a little bit, and I would point to cornerback depth and obviously offensive line depth, with which I just talked about. But beyond that, that's it. I mean, this is as complete a team as I've ever covered. I've been covering this team for the last 21 years. I mean, we're starting to get to 1990s era teams, Steve Young teams, teams that had Jerry Rice on them as far as up and down talent. So it's impressive. It's only week 5. That sort of kind of gives me a little bit of pause. This is the best team ever. They're number 1 in the power rankings. There are still 12 weeks to go. So a lot can happen and a lot will happen. But at the very least, I think you can take away that the 49ers are extremely focused. That they're not being blindsided by good teams. They're not overlooking bad teams. They've seen a nice mix of those teams. They've won on the road. They've won at home. They've won at 10 o'clock in the morning. They've won in prime time. They seem to be built right as far as the composition of their locker room for taking on all comers, and they're not going to be surprised by any team. So I think that is a very good sign going into this last 2/3 of the season.
I don't know that it matters that they have to be in a close game. I guess you could argue the Rams game, and that that's a team that has a lot of institutional knowledge on the 49ers, and the Niners had to kind of grind their way to find a way to win that one. But for the most part, Matt, it's been light work, and they haven't been stressed, with time and score and timeouts and how do they handle this late. Again, I don't know that they have to go through that, but would that be one area? I guess I don't know if it's a question mark, but playoff time, likely you will be in games like that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I talked to JT O'Sullivan about that. He really kind of scrutinizes Brock Purdy and a lot of the young quarterbacks across the league, and he said, that is a missing element. Because Purdy's been so good. I mean, they rarely are working with a deficit. I mean, I think the last fourth quarter deficit was on New Year's Day when they were in Las Vegas, and that was only brief before they retook the lead in that game. His point was that you haven't seen him play from behind. You haven't seen the 49ers really have to lean on that drop back passing game. When you can't run anymore, and you have to go to the pass and you have to throw over the top, you're down by that many scores. That's a scenario that Purdy hasn't been in. It potentially could be tough for him, but we just haven't seen him. And O'Sullivan's point was that, you'd rather have that crop up in week 10 in the regular season than in the NFC Championship game or something like that. I mean, everybody remembers what happened in the Super Bowl when that exact scenario came about in the fourth quarter. The 49ers were just not equipped to play that type of game. But getting one of those under your belt, boy, that would be ideal. But, if the 49ers keep playing the way that they have, they won't. The team that scored on every opening possession of the year so far, that to me just kind of typifies, underscores just how on the ball they are, how prepared this veteran team is for each of the games that they play.
I think that last point is great, Matt, because I thought, it's so little things sometimes. But the Cowboys win the toss. I get why they did what they did. They defer. Most teams do that. But it's like, we're going to make the statement. Our defense is great. We're going to stop you. We also get the ball to start the second half. So let's make the tone set early. 7 plays, 75 yards later, there's, Kittle catching one from Purdy. And you're like, well, that didn't work. It's already 7-0. And now the Cowboys are playing chase. And they didn't get a first down until the second quarter. So it felt like the Niners did such a great job of setting the tone from the beginning, and then they ultimately got that separation. And it just makes you wonder what the Cowboys are thinking after that 32-point loss.
Right, and Purdy is perfect on that drive, and he was near perfect the game before. And you're sitting there as the Cowboys on the sideline saying, we don't look any different than the Arizona Cardinals did to this guy. To me, it just kind of speaks to what they have inside that locker room. And then I'm talking about the coaching staff as well. This is, the 49ers are in a very, very good sort of wheelhouse of their, evolution. We've got these guys. George Kittle turns 30 today, but most of them are in their late 20s. They're at their peaks. They played a lot of football, and it's just a good group to have. They're close to becoming an older team. But this is the window seems really, really ideal right now, just in terms of kind of where they are physically and more to my point, where they are mentally. This is a veteran, mature team that's not making a lot of mistakes, that's ready for each of these games, and you're seeing the product of that on the field.
I want to ask you about Fred Warner, his individual game. I mean, he's been a stud for years, but the punch-out fumble force, which was just kind of a miracle, the way the ball bounced. The interception showed his effort on staying with the play. And I think his sack was impressive because, Dak tried to pump fake him, didn't fall for it, and still got him. 8 or 9 tackles. He was just everywhere. What does this guy mean to that defense right now?
Yeah, I mean, he is the defense, and really symbolizes it. And I remember when you see him before games giving speeches, and sometimes, and I'm guilty of this, you're a little bit cynical about all the kind of rah-rah stuff and, another speech. When I was in the locker room last year, and it was just kind of a fly on the wall at halftime, this was during the Tampa Bay game, their rout of Tom Brady, I watched Fred Warner, and he was doing the same thing inside there. And it just kind of dawned on me just how impressive it was that you've got one guy that never shuts off. His mission in life is to make sure that everyone around him is ready. Everyone around him is firing on all cylinders. And he does that on Monday, on Tuesday, in a walkthrough, in a full practice, before a game, in the middle of a game, after a game. It never stops with Fred Warner. And I just think that that's impressive, that he's taken this responsibility and is going to be the guy who's always rallying everybody. And it's not just rah-rah stuff. He's rallying him with the speeches, but also with his play. He's leading the way in that regard as well. My point is that for the last year or so, I've been really, really impressed with him. And he's really become the guy in the locker room. And this is a team with a lot of leaders, but he kind of is head and shoulders above everybody else.
Last one for you as we're talking with Matt Barrows, brought to you by Stockton Honda, Northern California's #1 Honda dealer. Matt, they've got Cleveland coming up, and actually the Vikings. Do you know if they're staying? Are they staying out that way, or are they coming back between games?
They're coming back because the Vikings game isn't quite an East Coast game, and it's also on Monday night, so day. They have the extra day. So I don't think that there's any plans for any East Coast stays this year. This would have been the week to do it, but that's not in the works.
Okay, and then just a quick thought on the Browns. This is a team also that has a great defense, but the Niners just played one yesterday. What's your early thought on the matchup with the Browns?
Yeah, I mean, coming off a big emotional win like this, it's a test of what I was just talking about, just getting everybody ready, and I sort of heard that in the rhetoric last night, Brock Purdy was, saying, I'm not going to get too high over this when we've got the Cleveland Browns coming up in 7 days. And really it was close to 6 days at that point. We were getting close to midnight when they were still kind of talking and going over the game. The Browns have a good defense, a really good pass rusher, and they run the ball well. I mean, they're similar in some ways to the Cowboys. And certainly are a team that's capable of knocking anybody off. So I think that is going to be repeated over and over again this week. And again, another test of just the maturity, the mental makeup of all these guys. But they've passed every test so far. There's no reason to think that they're not going to pass this one.
Well, it was fun. It was a clinic last night. We encourage everybody to check out Matt's work at The Athletic. Matt, thank you so much. Always look forward to talking to you on Mondays, and we'll talk to you next week.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
All right, thank you. That's the great Matt Barrows from The Athletic.
Can Mike Brown build on last season's Coach of the Year award? Can the Kings exceed 48 wins?
We will be better prepared to make the run that we expect to run come next playoff.
Tune into every Kings game this season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Arnold Law Firm.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's Tuesday. We're out the door to a cool enough start to have a jacket. For the afternoon, expect to see a mix of sun and clouds with afternoon highs pushing into the lower 70s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down in a heartbeat. So remember to be a little more alert on the road and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
Here's something you've never heard before.
Stop. This is Simply Safe.
Introducing 24/7 Lifeguard Protection, only from Simply Safe Home Security. Now, monitoring agents can see and speak to intruders through our new indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary. Subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all areas. Actual Pie customer.
As a small business, we're always looking for ways that we can offer the quality product and get some cost savings.
Meet Michelle from J.J. Pfister Distilling Company, a small business in California. When looking for workers' comp coverage tailored to the company's needs, she discovered Pie Insurance.
We heard about Pie Insurance being geared for a small business, gave Pie a call, and ended up switching.
Is your small business overpaying for workers' comp insurance? See how much you could save at trypie.com. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate, so your workers' comp audit experience is simplified.
We saved about 30% off of our workers' comp insurance when we switched to Pie.
It's as easy as pie to get the savings you deserve. What are you waiting for? Ask your agent for Pie or get a quote in 3 minutes at trypie.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
As a mom, I'd do anything to keep my child out of physical pain. As a doctor, I know that growth spurts can cause pain in my child's feet, and that can affect their legs and back too.
This is Dr. Pamela Maida, a board-certified orthopedic surgeon.
Children especially benefit from arch supports as a sturdy and supportive foundation for their developing feet. If your kids have pain, then I recommend Youth Arch Supports from the Good Feet store.
Youth Arch Supports are designed to alleviate, even eliminate common pain in the feet, knees, hip, or back. If your child is physically active with sports, clubs, or even on the playground. They may benefit from the comfort and support found in Good Feet Youth Arch Supports.
I firmly believe that investing in youth arch supports for your child or teen is one of the best decisions you can make to support their feet.
See how Youth Arch Supports can help with a free arch support fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. KHTK-AM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlot with your Sactown Sports headlines. Week 5 of the NFL came to an end last night on Monday Night Football, and the Raiders ended their 3-game losing streak with a 17-13 win over the Packers. Quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo was 22 of 31, throwing for 208 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Week 6 of the NFL gets started this Thursday with Chiefs hosting the Denver Broncos on Thursday Night Football. You can listen to the game right here on Sactown Sports. Sacramento Kings are off tonight. They'll be back in action tomorrow in Anaheim when they play the Los Angeles Lakers. You can listen to tomorrow's game right here on Sactown Sports. Reminder, all guests come to you via the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone. And then boom,
with Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
Wait one more day for Kings preseason basketball game number 2. That's tomorrow. Kings and Lakers from Anaheim. Gosh, amongst all the things, last week it was great on Friday to talk to Michelle Dapper and saw her Game On documentary feature, kind of a full-length piece on the Kings in Seattle. It was really well done. Great work, Daps, and the people over at KCRA.
It was okay.
Oh, come on, Mama Kelsey. Wow, why did she jump in there? No, it was fun. It was fun to relive. I don't know, fun. It was to relive that. But I mean, I mentioned Anaheim. That was also a realistic.
People kind of forget about that.
They do. And then
also Virginia Beach for a little bit.
That one never felt real, but I guess it was-ish. I don't know. That one came out of nowhere. And I think that was at the time like, I don't know that's going to happen. But anyway, the Kings are making a trip to Anaheim to play the Lakers. That's tomorrow night, a game you can hear right here on Sactown Sports. We have to wait for that, but we'll have some Kings discussion coming up later this hour in about 40 minutes or so. We're going to visit with the pizza guy, Frankie Cardicelli.
And I know he loves this new nickname.
I didn't even understand the other one, the Kings Cowboy, and I was like, what are they? Why are they calling you that? And he kind of explained it, and I'm like, okay.
That one, it was a very long stretch.
Yeah. But the pizza guy, did you label him that?
Dave labeled him that.
Okay.
I told the story
of him eating the pizza and giving away some pizza. Yeah. That was not his, nor really it was. Well, we'll see how the story supports itself a week later because it was at Media Day from last Monday. He will join us later. Hopefully you enjoyed the conversation we had yesterday with Matt Barrows. Also still to come, we'll have our NFL top 5, bottom 5 now after 5 weeks. I think you know where I'm going to put the 49ers. Man, they have been looking great. And again, I hope you enjoyed that conversation with Matt Barrows from yesterday. Sean Salisbury still to come as well. You can reach us via text, 916-339-1140, 1-800-920-1140 if you'd like to call in. Also, check us out here on our YouTube page on Sactown Sports YouTube. When you're there, please do us a favor. Hit that thumbs up button. We got a decent amount of you watching. Let's hit that thumbs up button. Help elevate those numbers if you could. You're there. It's just right there. It's a thumbs up button right at the bottom. You see it. If you could punch that in, that would do us a nice favor. So we appreciate that. Some news here before we get to 3 for Madness in just a couple minutes. Coming out of the NFL, and it's not good news for the Minnesota Vikings. News this morning on Justin Jefferson, their all-world wide receiver. I guess the news could be worse, but he did get injured in the game the other day, and now it looks like he's officially going to go on the IR. So he's out at least, at a minimum, of 4 games. So I know this was a question that Dave brought up maybe after 2 weeks when the Buccaneers had beaten the Vikings and then the Eagles had beaten the Vikings. They were 0-2. Kirk Cousins was leading the league in all sorts of passing numbers. He said, do you think the Jets should be calling the Vikings right now about Kirk Cousins? Final year of a deal. I didn't think so because I personally don't think of the Jets as a Super Bowl made team. Just replacing Rodgers out, putting in another proven quarterback. I didn't think they were Super Bowl caliber. Now they might, but I didn't. So I wouldn't have done it if I were the Jets. But now, I don't know, it doesn't have to just be the Jets. It could be any other team. If Justin Jefferson's going to miss a minimum of 4 weeks and you're 1-4 and you've got a talented guy like Kirk Cousins that would be coveted by other teams, where they're 4 weeks that they're going to not have him, Bears, Niners, Packers, Falcons. Maybe there's some get right there, maybe not, right? So this is a team that had already moved on from Dalvin Cook, could move on from Kirk Cousins. Justin Jefferson, who has, not disappointed on his statistics. Let me look at his numbers right now. Justin Jefferson through 5 games, 36 catches, 571 yards, and 3 touchdowns. I mean, he's been great, but he's going to be out a minimum of 4 weeks. So tough blow there for the Minnesota Vikings, who, when you're looking at the scope of things in the NFC, there's still a spot or two that I think is open, but losing a talented player like that for a minimum of 4 games is tough. Also, we should point out that there is news coming out, some sources from Miami about Devon Achane. What are they saying here? Yeah, he's going to miss some time with a knee injury. We don't have an official word, but it looks like it could be multiple weeks. And so he has been very impressive. So fast. That team is just speed with the Miami Dolphins. But it looks like he might be missing some time as well. So a couple of prominent pieces of fantasy football, certainly of the regular NFL football teams you watch, people you like to see play, could be on the shelf here for a couple of weeks. Certainly Jefferson is confirmed going to the IR for, it looks like, a timetable of about 4 weeks is what they're listing. All right, so we will take the break here. When we come back here at 7 o'clock hour rolls along, 3 for Madness. 3 questions, 3 answers. We'll do that right after this.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Nature Wood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
3 questions, 3 answers. It's 3 for Madness on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Here's question 1.
All right, no Carmichael Dave. He's back with us next week. But we roll right along. Coming up in about 30 minutes, like we said, around 30 minutes. Frankie Cardicelli, Kings Insider from Sactown Sports, will join us. in studio for a couple of segments, so we look forward to that. But it is that time. 3 for Madness, 3 questions, 3 answers. Question number 1, Chris.
It's only preseason, but last night in a matchup featuring 2 young future stars, Victor Wembanyama had 20 points and 5 rebounds in 19 minutes, while Chet Holmgren had 21 points and 9 rebounds in 16 minutes. Which of those two has a brighter future?
I mean, coaches, play them more minutes so we can get the full stat line. No, I think both guys are going to be great for the league. I don't know that I can have an answer. I think what's interesting is everybody right now is so much on the Victor Wembanyama train, and I totally get it. I would be too, enamored some of the stuff he's doing for his size. I don't think we've seen, but the guy that might be doing some of the things at his size is Chet Holmgren. It's crazy. We have 2 players like this right now. I know Porzingis was kind of the first one called a unicorn, but these 2 are so tall, lanky, skinny, but skilled. I mean, they're really, really skilled. And watching the highlights of both of them last night, these guys are going to be great.
That steal that Wemby had.
By Wembanyama.
When I was just like, check out the steal.
Yeah.
And I watched it 4 times. I'm like, he didn't.
How did he do that? Yeah.
Like, imagine being 5 steps in front of him and getting the ball stolen from you.
I remember one of the first times Giannis came through, and he was doing one of those drills, Chris. I don't know if you did this in high school. I remember doing a drill where I want to say it might have even been from the 3-point line, roughly, maybe somewhere on the angle, where we were doing basically it was layups, but you wanted to catch a pass from the angle and not dribble. But the proof was you could take 2 long strides and then get close. But I mean, in high school,
the opposite of a Tom Maley layup.
Exactly. Tom would do 45 shuffle steps and then some long strides. But, I don't know, in high school, it depends on what year it was, but I mean, maybe below 6 feet at the time or close to 6 feet. And you're just, stride. Felt like you're a long jumper and then you stretch. Where Giannis can pick the ball up. I think he could do 1 dribble almost from half court and then just long stride, stretch the arms. And he's at the rim. These 2 guys are the same way, and it's not just that; it's their skill level. I think that's the thing, because there was a time too. The league in the 80s and maybe early 90s had a bunch of guys that were just big and massive. Oh, put that big guy in there. Well, you need some skill. So these 2 guys have skill. I guess if I have to answer the question, I'm leaning towards Wembanyama because I'm going off of more of what people worldwide are saying about him, but again, don't sleep on Chet Holmgren. I think Chet has a really good chance to win Rookie of the Year.
So, do they reach the game threshold?
That's the other part. Well, no, I think they changed that. Didn't they say that rookies, for whatever reason, the rookies, they're changing it, which doesn't make sense to me. Every other award, I don't know. I'll have to double check on that because I didn't think it made any sense that they're doing that differently for the rookies. All right, question 2.
Question 2.
If you could bring back one Major League Baseball player from your childhood and have them play now in the present day game, who would you pick?
Oh my gosh, there's so many good choices.
Guess
here.
You're going to go with what? Ty Cobb, Cy Young.
Yeah, childhood, right? I'm having a tough choice between Ricky Henderson and my second choice, which I think is who I'm going to pick. It's Tony Gwynn.
Oh, okay.
I think watching Tony Gwynn.
Does he work in this?
I think so. Now, I think if you're that gifted of a hitter, right now it's launch angle, it's home run. But if maybe he's just crushing this pitching. I don't know if the pitching's worse, better, different. But if you're constantly getting on base and constantly putting stress on an opposing pitcher with discipline, with fouling off pitches, with taking pitches, and then putting the ball exactly where you want to, I don't see how he wouldn't fit. But I think I would lean Tony Gwynn. Do you have somebody?
I do. Probably not someone that you would think of either.
Well, give me a timeline, maybe.
It was when I didn't even really see him play.
Okay.
So mid 80s,
okay,
late 80s. Injury stopped him. Bo Jackson.
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm trying to think of people that, there's people in the NBA I think of now, if they were playing in this NBA, they'd be better than even they were then. I'm trying to think of other baseball players, and maybe Bo would be one of those. Because I think one of the knocks, if I remember right, was maybe he didn't hit for the best average, but that's kind of ignored now.
Yeah, very much so.
And what's funny is, what's your guess on his average? Because I bet it's way better than.
I'm going to say like 265.
Okay, let me go to Bo Jackson, Baseball Reference. Career average is 250. So
Okay.
that's his career.
And that's like, oh man, he can't even hit.
Right. And like, how are they even playing him? Okay, so when he really started playing full seasons, 235, 246, 256, 272 is last year, or last couple of years, 225, 232, 279 is last year was his best year. So he did lead the league in strikeouts 1 year, but that's kind of irrelevant these days. Best year, 32 homers, 105 runs batted in, 26 stolen bases. I would have thought more. It's still great. It would be fun to see Bo just mash too.
Yeah, the thing is, I think he would probably have more strikeouts, but more home runs, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. But I mean, like Judge last year was historically great in home runs, but also struck out a ton. There's plenty of guys that do that now. Bo's a good call. That's a really good one. I'd like to see Bo present day. Someone on the text line. How about King Griffey Jr.?
Yeah,
absolutely. Another guy.
That's when you wish he had just those insane injuries.
He did and still had amazing stats. We have Ricky on there. We have Andre Dawson submission.
Ricky Henderson, with the rules how they are now, how many stolen bases do we have?
The other one I think of too is a little bit cheated by injury and was kind of one of those guys that had that 40-40 potential, was Eric Davis. He was really good for a short window, and then unfortunately injuries and other things.
I've got a fun stat, and it might have changed now that we're in a new decade, but let's just say before 2010.
Okay.
Do you know the only players in Major League Baseball history to have a stolen base in 4 different decades?
Ricky?
I
don't know the other.
Ted Williams.
Oh, wow.
And it's not because I think he had like 20 something
total,
but he started in 39 and ended in 60.
So he just covered all of it. Wow. That's pretty good. And Ricky come on. It was unfair watching him. He was his own run producer by himself. All right, let's get to question number 3.
Question 3.
On this day in 2003, Quentin Tarantino's Kill Bill was released. What is your favorite Tarantino film?
He's got some good stuff. He's got some weird stuff. I mean, there's no doubt about that, but I kind of like the charm of his movies. To me, it's between Pulp Fiction and I like Django a lot.
Yes, great movie.
I think those two are my favorite of his.
The fun thing when we were working with Doug is him and I would try and get a Pulp Fiction reference in every show.
Oh, Reservoir Dogs is really good too.
Yeah.
I'm looking back at his. I didn't see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Really good movie.
Or I heard this is really good. I didn't see Inglourious Bastards.
That's my favorite.
That's your number one?
Yes.
Any others that you like that?
So Inglourious Bastards is my favorite, but The Hateful Eight was my favorite experience at a Tarantino movie.
Okay.
Because it was at the Crest Theater. They had it in 70 millimeter print. It started with a program. There was a I can't remember what's that called, and when they have like the music before the movie.
Oh, I don't know. What do you mean? A specific like?
Yeah, it's like they play like kind of like a little bit of the music throughout the movie to like kind of get you prepared for it. They used to do it in old movies.
Yeah, I don't know.
There was like an intermission in between. So it's like
old time.
It's like a 3-hour movie, but you get the break in between. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. Pulp Fiction, I think it's just the way it's done, shot, film, story, great. Django to me is on a lot. I rewatched that a lot.
That I saw by myself on Christmas, and it was at the Century Domes when they still had the domes.
Yeah, I saw it there too.
And there was a baby crying probably about 10 minutes in.
You're like, you brought a baby
on Christmas to Django Unchained.
Say goodbye, Miss Laura. Goodbye, Miss Laura. Shot out of the room. Man. Kill Bill was fine.
All of these movies I really like.
Yeah.
Kill Bill.
What was his last movie?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
That's the last one. That's now 6-7 years old, maybe more than that.
Probably like 5.
Is it 5? Okay. Yeah, it's been. Let me see. Oh, 2019. Okay, not as bad as I thought. Still a while there. All right. Well, Quentin Tarantino's Kill Bill, released on this day back in 2003, excuse me.
Can't even say 20.
I know. That's weird. 2003. All right, break time for us. When we come back, let's look back at the Monday night game. Gosh, this was a much-needed win for the Raiders. We got some audio, some highlights, and some analysis from a game that they absolutely needed, though they tried their best to give away. We've got that next.
Has Monty put together a roster that can help make a deep playoff run this season?
Just trying to give coach options, give him guys that can help us win in a variety of areas. Obviously, our top guys are going to play every game, but there's going to be other times, whether it's injuries, matchups, we've got to have some variety on the bench for coach to point to and say, go in there and help us win.
Tune into every Kings game this season
on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Quick Quack Car Wash.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's Tuesday. We're out the door to a cool enough start to have a jacket. For the afternoon, expect to see a mix of sun and clouds with afternoon highs pushing into the lower 70s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Me want to enjoy every moment. The changing leaves, the pumpkin patches, and you know what else won't last? Quick Quack's new pumpkin spice scented car wash. Text SPICE to 41284 to get 50% off any wash.
It's time to trade in and trade up at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com. It's all a click away.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Claim based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own loan report.
Good Guys Heating and Cooling is proud to announce their partnership with Susan G. Komen to raise money and awareness for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. For the entire month of October, Good Guys is committed to donating $10 of every $69 seasonal tune-up performed and $250 for every heating and air system replaced to Susan G. Komen. Call Good Guys Heating and Cooling now to schedule your tune-up and help save lives. 530-GOOD-AIR or online at goodguysheatingcooling.com. Best service, best price, guaranteed. And that's no bull. License number 1057618. One of the reasons people buy new cars is because of the warranty. They don't want to have to worry about things breaking and the fear of unexpected repair costs. But did you know Elk Grove Kia has one of the longest warranties around at 20 years or 200,000 miles? No other Kia dealer offers that. You would have to be a real to buy from anyone other than Elk Grove Kia. And if you're worried about financing, don't. Elk Grove Kia believes in second, third, and sometimes fourth chances because Elk Grove Kia's management team has over 100 years of combined automotive experience. We know how to say yes a lot more than the others do. Collections, past due bills, repos, bankruptcies. Your job is your credit. So where others fail to get you into your new ride, we can get you qualified. Let Elk Grove Kia show you why we're out to be the #1 Kia dealer in California. So when you're ready for some peace of mind and a friendly face, come visit us. Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or check us out online at elkgrovekia.com.
Elk Grove Kia.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Rillard with your Sactown Sports headlines. Week 5 of the NFL came to an end last night on Monday Night Football, and the Raiders ended their 3-game losing streak with a 17-13 win over the Packers. Quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo was 22 of 31, throwing for 208 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Week 6 of the NFL gets started this Thursday with the Chiefs hosting the Denver Broncos on Thursday Night Football. You can listen to the game right here on Sactown Sports. Sacramento Kings are off tonight. They'll be back in action tomorrow in Anaheim when they play the Los Angeles Lakers. You can listen to tomorrow's game right here on Sactown Sports. Reminder, all callers and guests come to you via the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Waking you up with the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sactown Sports.
Carmichael Dave back with us. Next week, we continue to roll along here on Sactown Sports. SactownSports.com as well, YouTube page. Hit that thumbs up button, please, while you're there. Frankie Cardicelli to join us in our next segment. Raiders last night taking on the Packers to wrap up Week 5, Monday Night Football. Pretty good drama to end the game. Wasn't the best game I've seen, but doesn't matter. You're there for sports and entertainment, right? And the Raiders really needed this game. I had a little bit higher hopes for the Raiders going into the season than at least the record had portrayed. I don't think I saw them as a playoff team, but I thought they could have been closer to a 7, 8, 9 win team. But the AFC is really stacked all the way around. Was a little bit concerned about quarterback play coming in, but you look at the high level of players that they do have. I mean, Max Crosby is so good defensively, wreaks so much havoc. I think the defense, they had bragged about being new and improved, and it proved to be a better storyline last night. Jacobs, coming off a great season, has yet to really get going, though he's been better the last 2 weeks. And Devontae Adams is just so good. So, I feel like they've got individual pieces, but when you're doing this with 11 on the field at a time, you need a little more depth, you need a little more substance, and I thought the Raiders might have it, and even just the Jimmy Garoppolo factor, not him as a QB as much as his presence, his leadership. There's just something about him that locker rooms and teammates buy in on, and that's a testament to him, certainly, and he's been effective, but he was effective enough yesterday. Let's hear back some of the moments of the Monday night win for the Raiders. We start with Jimmy G getting the Raiders in the end zone.
Empty set for Garoppolo. Shotgun snap. Quick throw. Over the middle. It's caught. Touchdown, Myers. The quick slant to Jacoby. And he leaned across the goal line. Touchdown, Raiders on a beautiful drive.
Yeah, that was a good answer. That was late in the 5 minutes to go in the second quarter, I believe, when they scored there. Put them up 7-3. They added a field goal at the half. So feeling good, 10-3. Third quarter was more controlled by the Packers, where they got a tying and leveling touchdown, added a field goal, 13-10. The unique nature of the game, the Carlson brothers kicking against one another. So Green Bay's leading 13-10 going into the fourth quarter. And so here's the Raiders with their opportunity to retake the lead.
Garoppolo's under center in I formation. Snap. Handoff. Jacobs dances. Forward. Touchdown, Raiders. Jacobs had to dance in the pocket, but he got the motion going forward and enough engine to get in the end zone.
Yeah, he did that early fourth quarter, so the Raiders led 17-13. Decisions had to be made in the game, and this is one I know all of you, I think, that watch football probably from your couch, from your chair, from whatever, however you're on the floor, however you watch a game, might have been yelling at the TV. I was going, what are you doing? You got to go for this. I think time, score, location, everything to me, and I think Joe Buck, Troy Aikman even said it, the analytics suggested the right play was to go for it in the fourth, and it might have been a yard, maybe less than a yard for the Raiders. Basically, if they get the first down, the game is over. It's over. The thought process, I'm trying my best to think of the thought process for Josh McDaniels is, hey, look, I've got a good kicker. He's been reliable for the Raiders. We make the kick. We go up 7. Technically, I would say we can't lose, but if you're the Raiders, you could with a touchdown and 2-point conversion. But you're thinking, okay, at worst case, it's going to be a tie, and we'll see another day and play overtime. Kick off, make the Packers work with more field. But you got to think about the options. You could miss the field goal, which happened. They hit the upright. It gave the Packers a shorter field with some confidence, and they were on the move. And so the Raiders were all of a sudden put in a position where they could lose the game. But we mentioned the defense being new and improved. They made a big play to save the day.
Shotgun snap. 3-step drop. Eyeing the middle. Pressure up the middle. Long. Out of the pocket. Throws downfield for the end zone. Intercepted! Amik Robertson in the back corner. Picks it off in front of Watson. And the Raiders defense just seals the victory here in Vegas.
It was a heck of an interception. Watson adds a little step and some separation. And Amik Robertson recovered, elevated, nearly lost the ball in his shoulder pads, but he caught it. Turnover. Basically, all the Raiders had to do was take a knee.
There's the last snap. Garoppolo last knee. The clock is going to tick to 0. And for the first time since 1987, the Raiders knock off the Packers They snap an 8-game losing skid to Green Bay and move to 2-3 on the year with a 17-13 win here tonight over Green Bay.
Like I said, much needed. I don't think it did incredible damage to the Packers. We'll explain that a little bit later, but I know they fall to 2-3, but there's still available spots here in the NFC. In the AFC, I don't think the Raiders are going to be in the mix, but it maybe delayed the inevitable for them, right? Getting to the second win doesn't seem like much. There's a bunch of 2-win teams in the AFC, and really no one. I mean, you could argue that the Chiefs and Dolphins at 4-1 are separating themselves, but not dramatically. But if you go to 1-4 and lose at home again in a game that, I mean, Green Bay's okay. It's not a great football team that they played. So I think that meant a lot for the Raiders just to win. You look ahead, it could stabilize a little bit schedule-wise for the Raiders, but stopping a 3-game losing streak, they had played some pretty good offenses in the Bills and the Chargers, certainly. But if you look at their wins, it's home against the Packers, the 1-point escape in Denver to start the season. They needed the W. They got the W, and afterwards, here's Jimmy G.
It was a total team effort tonight, and we knew it was going to be like that. It's just one of those things we got to use this momentum now to our advantage, try to get stacking these wins. But, yeah, this was a big one tonight. Green Bay coming in, fans traveled well, so it was a good environment out there.
Well, and that's the other thing. I mean, man, that's the history of the Raiders in Las Vegas so far in their brief history. The fans travel well for every team they play. I mean, there are Raider fans there, but you could hear a lot of noise when the Packers did anything. It was good energy, good vibe. Josh McDaniels talking post-game about the W.
It's an imperfect game. I wish we would have, maybe capitalized on a couple things that we had opportunities to capitalize on. But I thought there was some definite big stretches for us of complimentary football. Going to keep working, try to find the perfect game, which is hard to do.
Yeah, and I think at this point, I mean, my little nudge to McDaniels, I would think his lean at this point is to coach a little bit more conservatively. Look, there's a balance of being aggressive and reckless versus being conservative. I think of in his own division, I think Brandon Staley's too reckless. And there was a time where I really complimented him. I liked how he wasn't coaching fear-based. Now I just think he's stubborn and continues to go for fourth downs and not really reading down distance situation game flow as well as just like, I'm going to go for fourth downs all the time. I think that's reckless, where I think the way the Raiders defense was playing yesterday, the way Josh Jacobs was running the ball late in the game, the willingness to throw on fourth down, the Raiders have done that. McDaniels has been a little risky there in the past. I think they had options to end the game right then and there. They elected to kick. In the end, they weren't burned. They could have been, but they got it done. Let's hear one more here from the head coach.
I don't think it changes anything in our locker room. You want them to be rewarded for the work that they're putting in. I'm happy for our guys, happy for our team, our organization. And, we've been working hard, and sometimes you don't get the results you want right away, but it's a long season, and we have a lot of games left. We keep pressing on, and playing hard. And I think that's the most important ingredient I take away here is the way that we play and compete. And when you do that, you're going to give yourself a chance.
And they just got to keep sticking with it. I know we all react and overreact after every Sunday or Monday or Thursday night game. But, I mean, some of the coach cliches and coach speak do fit. I mean, you just have to stick with it. And if you're a Niners or an Eagles team or a fan of the team, you've jumped out to this start and 5-0 and you've looked so good. The reminder is it is a long season. And, if you start out slowly and people kind of disregard you, then by the end, you could look at it and go, hey, that team get the 9 or 10 wins and made the postseason. And chip in a chair, you get there, anything can happen in the NFL. Now, the Raiders at this point feel far from that, but they have some pieces to build on, and they just got to ignore all the outside noise and just keep playing. And I think last night they did a good job of sticking with the game. They created turnovers. I think, too, the way the Raiders would win games of the last couple of years, it just had to be they had a special offensive day. Their defense just was bad. And now if you've got more ways to win, that's what makes a team special. Now, the Raiders aren't in the category of the Niners. I think the Niners can win a game, honestly, with their special teams, certainly with their defense, and they're proving they can win every week with their offense. When you're really well-rounded and lethal and you face a team that can take away one thing, but you can still beat them with another, that's when you've got a good team in the NFL. So the Raiders are, they got Jimmy G back. They're rounding a little bit into form with that win. I think they're running the ball better. I think the defense is better, but I think they've got a chance to finish more in the middle of the NFL than certainly the bottom was where they were looking to go just a few weeks ago. So good win for them. They're 2-3. I think up next for them, they've got an opportunity to keep this rolling and improve on their record and just keep pushing at it, because this next week the Raiders will be battling the Patriots, a game against for Josh McDaniels, his old squad. All right, break time for us. When we come back, let's get into the Kings. They've had one preseason game. Camp is underway. Practices are going on. Our Kings insider, Frankie Cardicelli, he will join us in studio. We've got that next.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win.
He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopier.com.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different? How? You sell high commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee, structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
The game of football is about pain. Ever since I was 5 years old, it's been all about football. It's been about running, jumping, blocking, tackling. I stopped playing at 31.
You're listening to Michael Robinson, retired pro fullback.
I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life. I'm so glad I met Good Feet. I'm so glad that those arch supports are in my shoes. I had terrible foot issues that prevented me from really having a normal life with my kids. With the Good Feet arch supports, man, I'm always ready. My kids actually got to enjoy me in the yard more, racing each other, backpedaling, teaching them some things, being a dad. If I had known about the Good Feet arch support earlier, I would have more than one championship. I would have 2 championship rings.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Mike Woods, PGA Director of Golf at Hagen Oaks Golf Complex, says pace of play registers as very important to most golfers, so he offers a few tips to help. When you're in a cart, drop your partner at his ball and drive to your ball. While your partner is hitting a shot, you can be getting ready for your shot, and your partner can meet you at the cart. Move to the next shot before putting your club back in the bag. That way, you're putting one back and taking a new one, all in the same motion and time frame. Now line up your putt while others are already putting, so you're ready when it's your turn. And you probably don't need to mark 2-foot putts, unless, of course, it's a tournament or a big money match. Save writing your scores until you reach the next tee. And it's not enough to be ahead of the group behind. Stay up with the group in front. It's a game. Have fun. And let everyone else have fun as well with a great pace of play. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
If you wanna come, then pick up the phone. Don't get caught with the whack cow zone. D-I-Z-Z-A-T-R-T-Y. If you got it,
Carmichael Dave.
He has very good sources, and he just kind of tells it as it is and gets to the point.
Jason Ross.
He has a lot of pretty smart things to say.
He's good at what he does.
On Sactown Sports.
Because the sausage tastes like stale bologna. Still better than nothing. You're feeling alright. You know my girl eats a pizza with a diet Sprite or the garlic knots, and she'll stay the night. Getting crazy with the spinach when my pie is white. In France, they eat pizza like, oh mon Dieu, c'est la plus belle pizza que j'ai jamais vue. Le fromage est
All right,
frais.
Chris. What's this?
Pizza Party.
Pizza Party by
Le Home Run.
Le Home Run.
So this is really happening. This is really a thing.
I think that's what we need to do when Frankie comes on. It's not, hey, boring Frankie interview with the guys about the Kings. I think it should be
When is it ever that?
King's Pizza Party.
When is it ever that, though? Because either you guys start clowning and piling on me, or I get gifted a new nickname like this.
I for a guy that I don't know that needed a nickname, you now have 2 in 2 years.
Has that ever happened?
I don't know. I know you weren't asking for them.
No.
So can we go to the first one? By the way, Frankie Cardicelli in studio. You can see him here on our YouTube. Hi, everybody.
Good morning. What a welcome.
Hit that thumbs up button while you're here, please. But you are a Kings insider. We will certainly get into the Kings. But last year you were a Kings cowboy.
Yeah, that was a long story. I mean, that was also Christopher Laud, who I should never tell him artists or things I don't like.
Yeah.
Because I told him not a Kid Rock fan. I'm not a Kid Rock fan. And telling him that was a mistake. Because the next
all
time
he hears is he's a Kid Rock fan.
Yeah.
To be fair, it was a collaboration between me and Jay Johnson.
Yeah. Okay. I should not have shared that. I was pretty new to what I'm doing now. So,
so then he obviously played Kid Rock when you came on?
Every time.
Okay.
And then the cowboy name stuck. People that actually work in-house know me as the cowboy for the Kings. So I don't really love how that one is stuck, but now we're going to Pizza Guy, which is like, first and foremost, that's Isaiah Thomas territory.
Yeah.
He's the Pizza
Ben
Guy.
McLemore, Doug Christie.
Of course.
Yeah, it's more than one.
So there can be more than one. You can be on the list.
But I'm the only one that doesn't have, I'm not an actual pizza guy. I mean, Pizza Guy hasn't called me. So, that's not fun for me.
They haven't called you yet.
Yes.
Okay. Well, if you do me a favor, then sure. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
You would accept that if they ask you.
But so is it a new nickname every year at this rate? I just want to know.
No, it's one of the nicknames don't you can't plan on it. It's just something that happens.
So last year, by the way, let's go back to the Kings cowboy. Do you have any cowboy hat? Do you have a cowboy hat or cowboy boots?
No.
So no attachment to anything cowboy.
Which is why I think it's very confusing for people sometimes if they're like, okay, this man's not, I'm
not a cowboy.
Not a cowboy.
Yeah.
I don't even listen to country music. So it's very, it doesn't really make sense unless you know that's just Christopher Laud trolling me.
So who officially coined you the Pizza Guy? Because last week I was there at Media Day. I saw the incident, I guess. So is it coming from that? And who labeled you the Pizza Guy?
I think it's Dave.
Carmichael Dave.
Dave and Dave seemed very, very distressed by the story, and he wasn't even there.
I don't even know why. He had already left.
He'd already left.
Yeah. The pizza was Katie's. She brought it over to the table, left it. There were people that were coming up and eating the pizza.
Of course.
As did you.
And I was offered it earlier, but I said no
Yeah.
because we were doing a lot of things.
Yeah.
Then Media Day's over at this point.
Right.
Everyone's gone. Chris and Whitey are wrapping up their show.
Uh-huh.
We're about to all go, the media people are going to all go get some food and whatnot after. And I was hungry. I wanted a piece of pizza.
There were a couple of slices left.
There was a couple of slices left.
Yeah.
They were cold. They were cold, thin pizza slices, and no one else was there. So I offered one also to our buddy Jason Anderson.
Yeah.
Who had a slice.
So I think, Chris, in your mind, what was the biggest issue of this? That Frankie, I think, had 2 and gave one away, or the totality of all of that?
The first thing was he took a second slice.
Okay.
Then on top of that, he gave the last slice away.
But not immediately. Not immediately. There was a gap. There was time.
He ate a slice, came and sat down with Whitey and Watkins.
Yes.
Did an
Went
interview.
back and had another slice.
Went back, and he didn't know I was watching.
No, of course you were.
But
He's
just had
always watching.
I saw him walking away, and I saw him slow down towards the pizza box, and I'm like, he's not going to do this, is he?
Of course I am. I'm hungry.
And you keep saying thin slices. This was a 20-inch pizza.
It was a big pizza, but the slices were thin.
The slices
were thin, but they were long.
They were
true.
Okay,
I guess.
but like
I would say
comparing
one slice. Like you're making it sound like, oh, it was a double slice like regular pizza.
I think it was. If you're getting like a pizza by the slice, like a pizza place, like by the slice, I think combining two was one.
So you had two, and then still went with the media to go get some food.
I did.
Good for
but
you.
I only got because they opened that new Tom's Watch Bar.
Oh yeah, that's right. How was that?
It's pretty good. It's pretty great, and it was very, very packed because it was Monday Night Football.
I think it was. Was that the opening night?
That was the opening
or like
night.
a soft opening or whatever.
Opening night, and it was Verlon went with me too, but we mostly just got like appetizers and stuff.
Okay.
I mean, it was very
and
very
TVs
busy.
everywhere, right? I've seen video like it's pretty cool. Huh?
TVs everywhere. Yeah, I'd imagine that place will be very, very packed.
They're gonna do well
and rowdy on Kings game nights. Yeah, I can't even imagine for that. But yeah, I'm not loving that I get a new nickname every season, but I wonder what it'll be next year at this point.
I'm gonna go with calling you Frankie. How about that? You good with that?
Thank you.
Frank, I like the one I gave you. It was. Do you know the one I gave you? Very
Is Frankie the Yankee?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like that one.
Yeah.
Because I'm a Yankee guy, and you're a Yankee guy.
Yeah. But not a pizza guy.
Stinky.
No, Yankee, not Stinky.
No, not Stinky.
Our team is not in the postseason.
That might be a good nickname.
Tough to watch baseball without the Yankees, but baseball's still good. I know you're a baseball guy. You're not the pizza guy. You're a baseball guy.
I'm a baseball guy. I'm a baseball guy and a basketball guy. And you know what? I thought I was a football guy, but you were sharing those injury updates, and obviously, Achan from the Dolphins
Achan and
James Conner just got announced he's missing multiple weeks. So
Jefferson, man,
maybe I'm not a football guy.
Well,
I tried.
Fortunately, right now, Frankie, you're not talking about any injuries regarding the Kings, and I think when we're looking at big picture items for this team and for training camp, that's goal number one. Obviously, is to get through camp injury free, and knock on wood. Right now, everything's good there. Correct?
Yeah, everything. I mean, as far as we know, we're going to practice in a couple hours here around 12:30. But everybody was participating in the first game. It sounds like everyone was fine for yesterday's walkthrough. And obviously, right now things are. It's one game, but we were putting our thoughts out, and a lot of reactions to those thoughts are funny, and some overreactions. Maybe expectations are high off of last season, and people want to see the Kings come out and I don't think they lost a game in the preseason the past two seasons.
Yeah, and they looked, I actually think, really good in the preseason the last 2 years. I never care if they win, but I thought they looked really good.
And that's the thing. Yeah, to me, results don't matter.
Right.
The win-loss is nice, but you want to see what guys are doing individually. And individually, obviously, you have your guys like De'Aaron Fox, who didn't really do very much. And, the starters didn't play much as a whole, but then you see guys like Keegan Murray and Sasha Vezenkov doing what they did in game one. And those are the kind of things you want to look for in preseason, seeing how guys, number one, how do they adjust to those kind of, those things you want to watch for. You want to see Keegan take more initiative on offense. And did that. You want to see if Sasha's shot can translate to the NBA. It was only, half of a game, but it looked pretty good.
Yeah.
You want to see those guys mesh and they play together as well. So preseason is kind of like that experimental period where you want to see what works and what doesn't versus the wins and losses, really.
Yeah, and Mike Brown in the first game, look, they have 21 players on the preseason roster. He played 20, and I felt like he played them in chunks of 5. So, like 4 groups of 5 that played together. And I think as they only have, 5 preseason games. I think as it goes along, there'll probably be some cuts, but they also probably need to tighten down the rotations a little bit. It doesn't even have to Wednesday or even Sunday, but at some point, do you think that's coming sooner than later with Coach Brown?
Yeah, last year I believe he did it in the next to last game. So the final 2 games he had his regular rotations, obviously still less minutes in the first one, but then on the final preseason game, that's kind of this is the full rotation. Starting guys played near starter minutes. But obviously it's going to increase every game. So tomorrow we're going to see everyone play a little bit more. Tomorrow the starters will probably play around 20 minutes, maybe a little more. But the rotations were different last year too. So Mike Brown is someone who really will change up those rotations when he's trying to figure out what works and what doesn't. Now in the Kings case, though, a lot of their guys are returning.
Yeah.
Davion Mitchell, Malik Monk, Trey Lyles. Those guys are expected to get some pretty good minutes. And obviously, JaVale McGee had some good and bad minutes, obviously, in the first game. But you see how valuable he can be in protecting the rim, 2 blocks, and obviously the pick and roll aspect of his game and the lob threat is there. So you wonder what tonight's going to look like. Will Sasha Vezenkov come in, or tomorrow night? Will Sasha get an earlier call?
Because he was in the third group, right? I mean, they played the first 5, the next 5, and they're like, where's Sasha? And then he kind of came in with a bunch of younger guys, which you can kind of see he's the most experienced player new to this team. But I think that was the strategy. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's tough to say. I mean, is there a possibility he's currently out of the top 8, 9 spots right now? It's possible. I don't think this is by design or on purpose, but it is kind of interesting how we never really saw Sasha in those second groups during practice and camp. We also didn't really see him shoot very much. And I'm not saying that the Kings trying to hide Sasha from shooting, but there were all these stories going around about how great he looked. And we hadn't really seen it until that game the other night. And he did look really, really good, but you have to wonder how he does fit and where he gets those minutes from. Is he going to take minutes from, you got to think it's going to go from Trey Lyles or Chris Duarte, and you just don't really know where those are going to come from right now. But that's Mike Brown's job to decide and figure out. And he looked good last night. That's the most important thing is Sasha looked good in the minutes we've seen so far, which is not many, but obviously you have to keep that going tomorrow night in Anaheim.
Yeah, and the players have been talking pretty highly of him, how gifted of a shooter he is. A little surprising from the first game was that second unit, that first 5 off the bench, because I think that's going to be a pretty good group. No matter what 5 it ends up becoming, their plus minus, whatever that's worth, wasn't. And that's kind of the gap of the game where they lost their momentum.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of that, again, this is one concern that maybe you can call it preseason, maybe you don't have to, but obviously you let Toronto score almost 70 points in the first half. Mm-hmm. And I think this is a team the Kings struggled with last year. They struggled with teams like Toronto that have a lot of players, like long forwards that are defensive, defense first kind of forwards. They struggle with teams like that. So how are they going to be able to overcome teams like that this season? You're going to need more from everyone that's already on the roster as far as the defensive input, because it just isn't there right now.
Yeah. Well, it's good to have Frankie in studio. We got another segment with Frankie. We got to talk about some of the position battles, what else to expect from this Sacramento Kings squad with our Kings insider, Frankie Cardicelli. It's Frankie the Yankee, right? That's what we've got. We've got another segment with Frankie when we come back here on Sactown Sports.
What's the latest with the San Francisco 49ers? Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross keep you up to date on all things red and gold during the Niners at 9 every weekday at 9 a.m. on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's Tuesday. We're out the door to a cool enough start to have a jacket. For the afternoon, expect to see a mix of sun and clouds, with afternoon highs pushing into the lower 70s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
You know what time it is. It's time to trade up to a brand new Kia at Folsom Lake Kia. Trade up to the newest technology with a low payment. Shop Folsom Lake Kia, family owned for over 20 years.
It's the model year-end sales event at Acura of Stockton. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Lease a new Acura RDX or MDX. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton or AcuraofStockton.com, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder, thunder.
Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Individual rates, coverage, offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions, not available in all areas. Hey, small business owner, when's the last time you checked your workers' comp rate? For many small businesses, workers' comp insurance is one of their biggest costs. But some don't check their rate often. Did you know rates can vary? In fact, taking 3 minutes to check your rate with Pi Insurance could save you up to 30%. Just go to trypi.com, share a few details about your business, and get a quote that's customized for you with no hassle or hidden fees. We know you're busy, but spending just a few minutes to check your rate could save you money. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate. So your workers' comp audit experience is simplified. See how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or get a quote at trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
NorCal Sportsman Show, October 14th and 15th at the grounds in Roseville.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your home for the Oakland A's every weekend.
And it's swung on line to left center, base hit, and the A's have won it on a walk-off line drive, base hit to left center.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Rillard with your Sactown Sports headlines. Week 5 of the NFL came to an end last night on Monday Night Football, and the Raiders ended their 3-game losing streak with a 17-13 win over the Packers. Quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo was 22 of 31, throwing for 208 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Week 6 of the NFL gets started this Thursday with the Chiefs hosting the Denver Broncos on Thursday Night Football. You can listen to Thursday's game right here on Sactown Sports. Sacramento Kings are off tonight. They'll be back in action tomorrow in Anaheim when they play the Los Angeles Lakers. You can listen to the game right here on Sactown Sports. Reminder, all guests come to you via the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross and our guest, the pizza guy, Frankie Cardicelli.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
All right, great to have Frankie Cardicelli, our Sactown Sports insider.
I'm a pizza guy.
Stop. God, please stop.
Of course, you should follow him on
Are
Twitter.
you a pizza guy?
I'm a pizza guy. What's the best pizza? Your favorite pizza?
Like what place?
Place, or if you were to make your own pizza, like what has to be on like your?
I'm a big green onions guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Green onions.
I think it really helps. Yeah.
Chris kind of turned his head. I did the same thing.
Well, with pepperoni, and then obviously your herbs and spices and whatnot. But one other thing.
Wait a minute, how often are green onions on pizza? Now that I think about it, is it pretty often? Is it a regular thing?
There's like a lot of white sauce pieces, which is what I eat because I have bad acid reflux.
Okay, gotcha.
The esophagus there, so I stick with white sauce. But
any other toppings on there?
I'm honestly not that picky. I don't like pineapple. I'm anti pineapple. I will not eat pizza with pineapple on it. But I'm really not picky. I'll eat anything on pizza.
Okay, except pineapple.
Except pineapple.
Mushrooms?
Yeah, sure.
Anchovies?
No. Sorry, got me there too.
Yeah, I'm with you on anchovies now.
Pineapple's
good. I don't mind pineapple at all.
Pineapple's good off pizza in my opinion.
Okay, but not on pizza.
I'm not a big seafood guy. I'm trying to get better about it, but I would never eat it.
You don't have to.
Like anchovies on. When we were kids, we go on a field trip to Round Table, and they would do like whoever eats an anchovy gets a free like personal pizza. And
really?
I think a lot of kids.
What kind of field trips were you taking?
I wouldn't do it. That was like a kindergarten field trip, I think.
Nice.
And, didn't do it though.
Let's talk about some position battles, or are there in your mind? As you look at, do you feel it's safe to say, Frankie, that the starting lineup day one is going to be what we saw last year? Barnes, Murray, Herter, Sabonis, Fox.
Yeah.
Whatever order there.
I mean, it works so well, and again, a lot of that was with how available everybody was, but as long as those guys are healthy and ready, I don't see how anyone gets replaced in that lineup. Now, again, it's a long season and that could change. I do feel like the long play with Harrison Barnes is to kind of gradually have him be in a reserve role, and whether it takes 1 year, 2 years, or 3, I don't know. But I feel like if you ideally have Sasha Vezenkov, if he turns into what you think he's going to be, or someone else that can be a 3-4 hybrid or one or the other, that I think would be what could really push the team in a different direction. Now, Keegan Murray is also a big component of that because he needs to be a guy. He needs to go from being a 10, 12 point per game scorer to being a near 20 point per game scorer, I think, over the next 2-3 years. But as of now, the lineup works. The depth, I think it's there. It's all about who can kind of get better on defense. I think everybody should try to take a step forward on defense, and hopefully they can. But no, I think the starting lineup for sure is locked in as of now. And also, Mike Brown he was very surprised last year when a lot of people put stock into how Keegan Murray didn't start the year in the starting rotation. He was very confused. Like, he finishes the games. Like, it doesn't really matter who starts.
But he started Okpala the first game. First two, maybe?
Yeah, it was
And by the end of the year, he's not on the team. It was odd the way the season played it, but that happens sometimes.
From how great of a year Mike Brown and the Kings had last year, that was the one kind of kind of confusing thing that happened because it's like you wouldn't remember it. And like 5 years from now, we're probably not going to remember that. But it was interesting. But it just kind of proves how Mike Brown doesn't really put a lot of stock into who starts. He really cares more about who finishes. But I think it's important for guys to be comfortable, and repetition like that is important. And I think that's going to be the 5 that starts.
I'm with Coach, too, because everybody gets enamored with the starting 5, but it is the finishing 5. And that's where I think this can change almost nightly because I think they're as deep as they've ever been. My gut's telling me that they're deeper than 11, but I think 11 are going to play. So the thought on the 5 we just discussed, I think we're going to see Davion. We're going to see Monk. We're going to see Sasha, Duarte, I believe, Lyles, and McGee. I think those are the 11, and maybe one. It's a little bit like Terrence Davis, who could have been in the mix all the time, and then some nights he just didn't play. Other nights there was an injury. He started. Is there someone else I'm missing there? Like I feel like Alex Lynn, who's been with the team, is kind of an odd man out. A few others may be on the outside looking in.
Yeah, I mean, Alex Lynn,
of now.
Alex Lynn could be someone they go to for more physical matchups. Again, they kind of leaned on him at the end of last year when they were trying to figure out their backup center position because he's a good screener. He's someone that can get physical. Is he a great rebounder and rim protector? Not really, but he's a very physical presence. So they could call on him when they're playing teams like Denver and whatnot. But JaVale McGee is also a guy that can be physical and he's athletic, but he does have some fouling tendencies and whatnot. So that's an interesting thing to kind of keep an eye on. I think McGee's the guy to open the year up, but they could call him Len down the line or even play small ball 5 with Trey Lyles in certain situations. I'm intrigued about how much Chris Duarte is going to play right now. I think he is in line to be their backup 3, but I wonder if they kind of have to juggle those minutes between him and Sasha because I'm not sure where else you're going to get the Sasha minutes from. Trey Lyles, I think he needs to be out there more than not. I mean, from what he brought to the team last year and what he appears to be ready to bring again this year and how much they paid him $16 million over the next 2 seasons, so $8 a year. You can't really take him out of the rotation. He's a guy that's earned that right to be a backup 4 or backup 4-5 combo, whatever you
played
think.
A lot of 5 last year.
Yeah, whatever you think. And I think they'll go to that again as well, as the NBA has shown. There's a lot more small ball lineups. Well, if you're watching last night's Spurs OKC game with Chet Holmgren and Wembanyama, you wouldn't think so. But yeah, I do think finding consistent minutes for Sasha Vezenkov and Chris Duarte will be a challenge unless someone's going to miss some time. But that's kind of what I'm keeping my eye on tomorrow night and for the rest of the preseason.
Yeah. Your best guess at the most consistent finishing 5 for Mike Brown? Fox and Sabonis.
I think Fox and Sabonis for sure. There's 2. I think Keegan Murray is going to be out there.
Because he wasn't always last year.
He wasn't always, but I feel like there's a lot of, Mike Brown and De'Aaron Fox, they expect a lot out of him this year. I think that unless he's, really kind of stumbling out of the gates, I think he'll be on the floor. I feel like one of Kevin Huerter or Malik Monk, whoever is
which was on. Monk a lot last year.
Monk,
was both really, right?
Yeah, like usually it was whoever had a hot hand.
Yeah,
and then I guess that leaves one more spot. And Davion Mitchell did close games last year. Then you have Harrison Barnes. It could be one of those 2. But I do feel like that a Fox, Mitchell, Monk / Huerter, Murray, Sabonis lineup could be what we see closing games more times than not. And obviously Harrison Barnes as well, if he's having, a good game or they're playing a team that has, a LeBron James or Kawhi Leonard, you need someone that can kind of match that physicality. But I think Davion Mitchell really made a case to be a closer last year. But again, it's the offense because he had to be on the bench in game 7 because of the lack of offense. So he looked good in the first game of preseason, but he carried that over.
It's going to be kind of, I think, situational. Like we brought up Lyles. It could be him on the floor. It could be Sasha if you need score. I just think they've got more choices and more options. It's just, sorting that all out in real time is going to be a challenge for the coaching staff.
Yeah, I really think it's going to kind of be a by committee. It kind of it's every different night can be a different story. I feel like you're going to have your guys like Fox and Sabonis that have to be out there if they're healthy, but it really could be any other combo. It shows how deep the Kings are. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a Fox, Mitchell, Huerter, Lyles, Sabonis finish one night. Like if maybe that's the way things are going. Trey Lyles can get hot. We've seen it before, but that, again, it speaks to, and I think G-Man said it on the air the other night, this is the deepest Kings team, I think, since maybe 2004. I think this team has a bit more depth than 05, 06, and definitely from 06 through 2021. So this team has more guys that can cause damage than not. So I do think that There's no shortage of guys that can close games out, pending health. Obviously, that's going to be the biggest factor to me, and one of the biggest reasons why a lot of sports writers and NBA analysts around the league are kind of expecting the Kings to regress. They had such good health last year. Can they have even close to that health this year? I think they'll be exactly where they want to be.
Anybody, Frankie, on the outside of that 11-12 we've discussed that you think could crack the lineup consistently, whether it's new faces to the Kings, young guys, or guys two-way, just that's a tough spot to be in, but any of those guys intrigue you?
Yeah, Colby Jones, I feel like there's a lot of hype around him right now and how much he could be a two-way player. He could be someone that can crack the rotation at some point this year and kind of give the Kings some valuable minutes, but the Kings definitely need more two-way players, and he is one of the, if not, him and Davion Mitchell, if Davion can pick up on the offensive end, but they need more two-way players, and Colby Jones fits that bill. That's kind of what was one of the more exciting things about him when the Kings drafted him.
Yeah, I thought when I watched him in Summer League, I got the feeling like if you plugged and played him with Fox, Sabonis, Barnes, and, another player,
Murray,
that he would fit really well. Like, I think he rises his level of play with the people he's around, I think he would be a really good fit player for any team, honestly.
Yeah, he's like a system guy. Like he can kind of just plug and play, like you said.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a guy who can knock down the three ball. He is athletic. He brought the ball down in Summer League. Can he do that again this year a little bit? Obviously, the Kings are thin at point guard. They do have Jordan Ford on a two-way. So if Fox or Davion miss time, they can go to Jordan Ford. He's another guy you can keep an eye on in case Fox or Mitchell miss any time. He's right there in the rotation. So I do think they could call on guys like, obviously, like I just mentioned, Colby Jones, but Jalen Noel, you kind of look at him for that last roster spot now that Jeremy Lamb's been cut.
Yeah.
We're assuming he'll be in Stockton, but Noel's a guy who's played minutes, like strong minutes for Minnesota over the past couple of years. Is he an impact player? Hard to say. I think Brendan Nunez put it well the other day. He said he's kind of like a Terrence Davis, kind of fits that same mold. But the Kings already have guys ahead of him like Chris Duarte. And I'm looking to see right now how those kind of minutes shake out right now because, again, the Kings are deep. Maybe they're too deep for some of these guys to get some minutes, some good players. But that's exciting. That's one of the more exciting things about this upcoming season, the fact how deep this Kings roster is.
All right, last thing for you. What are you looking for tomorrow night and really the first home preseason game Sunday? So the rest this week, what do you kind of want to see from the Kings?
Yeah, I mean, obviously seeing Fox kind of get some shots go down 0-6 in the opener doesn't really matter that much. He played 15 minutes.
Yeah, nobody's too worried about him, right?
No, but you want to see him get going and kind of prove, because again, this is a big year for him too. I mean, I think some people are expecting him to even finish higher in MVP voting this year. Seeing him kind of get off to a good start, obviously, I'm still intrigued about Sasha. I want to see, is he going to be in the first 5 off the bench? Last night or 2 nights ago, I think he was the 12th or 13th man off the bench. I think he's proved a longer look. Yeah, I'm looking to see those kind of storylines right there. But it's preseason. I'm taking everything with a grain of salt, as everyone should. Yeah. Don't get too high or too low. But obviously, you want to look for those positive developments with these players. And we're 2.5?
I know we're almost there.
Weeks away.
Yeah,
it's very, very crazy how close we are.
That's awesome. I know this is going to be a great time for Kings fans. The drought is over. Now it's expectations, but it's what happens when you start winning. So it's fun. I know you're out at practices all the time. Writing content too on SactownSports.com, so people check all that out. Frankie, great to see you. I know we'll be seeing you a lot more soon, and thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, thank you guys, and thank you for the new nickname and the song that goes with it. Yes. I appreciate it.
I think that's going to be.
Are you a pizza guy?
Oh boy.
All right, thank you guys.
I'll go with Frankie the Yankee. You'll thank me for that one, but not the others.
No, I appreciate yours.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jason. I always appreciate you.
Oh, I appreciate you. All right, we'll take the break here. When we come back, more football discussion. Sean Salisbury stops by for his weekly check-in. That is next.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Nature Wood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
The only place in the morning to get your sports fix.
Live and local.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
All right, no Carmichael Dave this week. He is off. He's back with us next week, but it is Tuesday. We always love checking in with our guy, Sean Salisbury. Kind enough, he just wrapped up his show. He's joining us now. Sean, Jason Ross here with you. Let's start first with this afternoon. How much excitement is there right now in Houston with that series and the Twins tied at 1?
Excitement, but also concern.
Yeah.
Jason, good to be on with you like we are every week. Always enjoy it and always appreciate you guys. And, I think there's concern because, the Twins came in and beat them in their building. Fromber was not real sharp in game 2. Verlander got his, but now you're in that even if they win today, then they go up 2-1 and you won't see Verlander till game 5. And the talk is even if they lose, meaning the Astros, that you're either going to see Jose Urquidy or J.P. France in game 4, which means now you may not see Verlander again if you don't secure. Today's a huge, huge game. It's a little bit chilly in Minnesota today. It'll be in the 50s, I think, at the start of the 3 o'clock game time, 3:05, whatever it is. The bats got to awaken. When they're going, they're a murderer's row. They've got bats up and down. They're 8 deep, and if Maldonado's not catching and Diaz is, they're 9 deep. So it can be relentless. But Sonny Gray's been good this year. We know he's got stuff. The shadows will be out. Pitcher advantage. The whole key, too, aside from their lineup, it's the top of their lineup right now, to be honest with you, Jason, that's got a hit.
Mm-hmm.
We know Jordan's postseason chops are phenomenal. But Javier's got to give you something. He can't give you 80 pitches in 3 innings. He has got to find a way to regain some of the magic where he's a big swing and miss guy. And if he does that, then it'll be a different story for the Astros. But a little concern because you go down 2-1, now you're on the road, and you don't see Verlander till 5. Yeah, there's major concern, but excitement because the one thing they know in this city in Houston that the Astros seem to love adversity, boos, people questioning them. This is who they've been the last handful of years, and they got the stomach for pressure. We'll see if they can get to Sonny Gray early today, but it should be a fun game. But a lot of excitement here because of the fact that they got another chance. Get to the ALCS, and you may see Texas, and that makes them really happy. The old Hatfields and McCoy's battle.
Well, I know you got excitement there regarding that. We got a lot of excitement here in Northern California after the Sunday night beatdown the 49ers put on the Dallas Cowboys. I think there was anticipation for that game, understandably. How will the Niners offense measure up against this Dallas defense? And that was clearly impressive, Sean. I would love your take on what the Niners did to Dallas.
Yeah, and Jason, I have them in the Super Bowl. I think they're that good, and this was preseason. And when I found, we found out Brock Purdy was going to go, and he's just gotten better. I think, and I don't think 4 weeks ago we'd have said that the 49ers are 30-plus points better than the Dallas Cowboys, but the big difference, and you see it, both teams have multiple stars. Both teams have, a good staff. Both teams get it. Here's the difference is that one's inconsistently consistent or consistently inconsistent, and the other one is constantly consistent, meaning the 49ers. So I don't know if they're 30 points better plus than the Cowboys on every day, but I can tell you this, the 2 best teams in the National Football League championship game last year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's them and Philadelphia. And I think there was I thought a smaller gap between the Cowboys and 49ers, but that gap I think is extended big. And I think the Cowboys, while talented, the inconsistency at quarterback, the inconsistency in execution of just the everyday simple things that you're supposed to do that the 49ers do well. And I was thinking about the 49ers not only over the weekend, but in their game and what they did to the Cowboys. And you know what hit me is I'm trying to figure out what they don't do well. Now, I know there's some analytic or stat that I'm not looking at, but I think about their players, their stars show up every week. They run the ball as well as anybody in the country, and they will commit to it in the NFL. They've got Kittle, and they've got perimeter people. Their quarterback doesn't make mistakes. They're well coached, even though losing their passing game coordinator and their defensive coordinator last year, and who we got here in Houston. What don't they do well? And so instead of in some deep dive into it on the surface, this team just finds ways to get it done. And they're beating teams that they're supposed to beat handily, and then they're putting it on teams that are supposed to be really good and giving them all kinds of trouble. So they protect the ball, they run it, and they hit you in the mouth. And when you got that combination of stuff and a big play when it's there, what's not to like? Somebody's got to prove to me that they're better than the 49ers right now, and the Cowboys ain't it.
Sean, as we're visiting with Sean Salisbury here on Sactown Sports, want to ask you about Brock Purdy specifically. You just mentioned him. You played the position in the NFL, and every time I hear Kyle Shanahan talk about him or anyone else around the Niners, they talk about his quick processing, his decision-making, how usually he's right on it, but how quickly he can dissect a defense. Tell us how difficult that is, because there's bigger guys, stronger guys, more athletic guys. We've seen all of that, but everybody, when they play the Giants on that Thursday night game, Martindale's throwing out record-setting blitzes, but he's processing everything so quickly. What does that superpower do for him in a game?
Well, I think part of it's DNA. I do. I think part of it is how well you were coached. I mean, whether it's your private coach, your high school coach, your parent, your mom and dad at home, how they taught you when you go into your college and how you're taught there. Because there is a way to study tape. People just think you go in there and look, and no, there's a way to study it and dissect it and break it down. And then the processing comes from what you see in the film room and what you see in game planning, being able to go out and apply it to the field and then make adjustments while you're on the field as well. And some of it you can't be taught. Some guys process quicker than others. And that's why the constant, well, he's not 6'4", and he's not 220, and he's not spectacular. He can't throw it out of the stadium. All three highly overrated when it comes to that position. Now, if you got all those and you can throw it a country mile and you run 4.4, well, God bless you, right?
Right.
Then that's fine. But give me this guy. And you know why? It's crazy. It's almost like people are waiting. I'm not saying 49 fans, but nationally, because he's not flashy. That they're waiting for him to fail. But if I threw in and waiting for him while the other shoe's going to come off, not when you're a good decision maker and throw on time and got personnel. He gets marked down by some for being on a good team with good players. Well, isn't that the concept? I know Peyton Manning had a Hall of Fame running back and 2 Hall of Fame wide receivers. I know that Tom Brady's had some. Gronk and Moss were pretty good. I know that Dan Marino had some pretty good players. Elway had good players. Isn't that the concept? You want good players? Why am I marking down a good? The truth is he takes a good team and he even makes it better. So he does that, and there's the stigma that follows the last pick of the draft around as if, well, he's not supposed to be good because experts don't miss when they're evaluating. Well, they missed on him. They missed on it because he doesn't look the 6'4" part. The truth is he's better than most of them, and he's a top 5 or 6 player in this league, and right now maybe the leading candidate for MVP with the decisions. He throws on time and he throws accurately. So I think it's crazy that we have this perception that, oh, yeah, he doesn't look it. But let me ask you this. If I said, put it this way, if it was Bryce Young this year, let's go quarterbacks over the last 5 years, Bryce Young because he was the first pick this year, or if Kenny Pickett, who was a first rounder but late, any of those guys, if Brock Purdy was drafted in the top 10 picks, like they pick it later than 10, but Stroud or any of those guys, would we be saying the same things, or would we be saying, what a pick? The guy, what a great, he's Drew Brees, and he was picked higher. Think about the stigma that follows around, yet he does everything great quarterbacks do. When the big play's there, he hits it. He doesn't miss the ordinary play. He leads and he wins, and the ball doesn't hit the ground very often. So I'm trying to figure out if the fact that he was the last player drafted, had he have been picked in the first round, do you realize that people would be addressing him different because he was a first rounder? Evaluators miss. They missed on this guy, and now they wouldn't trade him for anyone. They're not trading him anywhere. So I don't hold your breath if you're waiting for Brock Purdy to fail, because you might pass out. The guy is spectacular right now.
Last night in the game, I think the Raiders had to get. I don't know where they're going to land in the scheme of things in the AFC, but I think they had a chance to be closer to a 7, 8, 9 win team, maybe if everything went right. They won. Wasn't the prettiest of games. What's your thought? I know you're still close to kind of that organization. What's your thought on the Raiders win last night?
For me, as a diehard Raider fan, it wasn't overly pretty, but you forced two things that stick out to me is when Josh Jacobs is getting the ball and they're pounding it and he's not averaging 3 yards a carry. That guy is a beast. You have to make sure he is your bell cow. He has, and even on 3 and outs, the guy has to touch the ball 25 times a game, come hell or high water. And they will have more success doing it. It'll make Jimmy's job easier, and you protect the ball on offense. On the other side, last night was how you're going to win against good quarterbacks in the AFC West, especially in LA and in Kansas City, is you got to turn them over. And you forced Jordan Love into, 3 picks last night, and the coverage disguised it a little, and he premeditated a few reads and threw it to him. Goes back to the processing of information that you saw from Brock and that you see from the great players in this league, the Mahomes who executed, is turn them over on defense, control them, especially when you may not be as explosive at quarterback because Jimmy may not have the explosive arm as some strong, but Jimmy's got a lot of that, protect the ball, play sideways, accurate, throw it underneath. But Josh Jacobs is going to dictate where they go on offense, the physicality, and the defense. Force some turnovers, and you'll be in every game. I'm with you. I think they're a game over 500 type team, and who knows with the AFC if you can find a way to sneak in. I think they're better than we've seen, and I think there's better to come, but it's going to rely on defense and the commitment to Josh Jacobs doing what he always does, and that's dominating games.
Sean, before we wrap up, got to ask you about your great app. It's really cool for fans. Tell us a little bit about that and how that's going.
Yeah, growing fast, and I'm proud as the president of this company to be with our talent, our media casters, the compelling content, our investors and sponsors, and our fans. That's why we did it. It's at PSF_app on Twitter. It's pro sports fans, and the metrics tell us it's growing as fast as we could possibly want it to, and obviously that's never fast enough for anybody, but we've got games, we've got teams and broadcasters do all week long, 24/7, and we cover every single game like a Manning cast, but we call it a media cast. So it's there, and it's a place the fans have a seat at the table for you to engage in these communities with other fans and the talent that comes on and the guests. I think we're on to something special, and it sure feels from the confidence of other people and other big companies that are wanting to join us that they feel the same way. Fans deserve a seat at the table, and PSF is giving it to them at PSF_app. Go get that on Twitter and go follow. Hit the link and go in there and it's free. Go in there and see the app and see if you don't like what's going on in San Francisco and Vegas. I think you will.
All right, check it out. That's Sean Salisbury each and every Tuesday joining us. Sean, thank you so much. Have a great week, and we look forward to talking to you next week.
Always a pleasure, brother. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. That's the Sean Salisbury joining us there. Good perspective what's going on with Houston and the Astros, but also the NFL. And I think he's right on about the Niners. I mean, again, I think everybody's looking for that other shoe to drop for Brock Purdy. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know why he's being evaluated that way. There's other people, like I said yesterday, the analogy, if Christian McCaffrey has an off game, you're not ever speculating that, well, maybe he shouldn't be the Niners starting quarterback or running back. If Fred Warner has a bad game, well, maybe they should be looking at a different linebacker. No, these guys are studs. They've established it. Purdy is doing the exact same thing in real time, and it seems like there are still a handful of people just waiting for that first game where he's off and like, maybe they shouldn't have got rid of Jimmy G or Trey Lance or just he's done it enough for me. I think he's more than capable of leading this team to the spots they want to go, and he's doing it each and every week in a very, very impressive style. All right, hopefully you enjoyed that conversation with Sean Salisbury. When we come back, we got more show to get to, including it's that time, 4 Down Territory. We got 4 NFL-based questions coming your way right here on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Will Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers brass go all the way this season? Could the Niners win their first Super Bowl since 1995? Join us throughout the season to hear all the games and all the analysis on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's Tuesday. We're out the door to a cool enough start to have a jacket. For the afternoon, expect to see a mix of sun and clouds with afternoon highs pushing into the lower 70s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Imagine taking a nice warm bath in your shower. Let us fix that. Right now, get that clogged drain unclogged for just $97.
Bonnie, plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air. Bonnie.com. Some restrictions apply. License 696-355.
I love being a bartender. I love waiting tables. But at the end of my shift, my feet were killing me. And so I had to pretend like I was having a good time. And really, I couldn't wait to sit down. But it wasn't just my feet. It was also my knees were achy. A lot of neck pain, too. I was in so much pain. I kind of lost hope, really. And then I saw the Good Feet store, and that's when everything changed.
For over 20 years, we've helped people like Kristen enjoy their work again without their feet getting in the way.
It was pretty shocking to realize that I'd been in so much pain, and suddenly I'm completely pain-free. Now that I have the Good Feet arch supports, I don't have to pretend to be happy. I'm genuinely happy. So, cheers. My name is Kristen, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville.
The NorCal Sportsman Show is coming October 14th and 15th at the grounds in Roseville. Get huge year-end deals on everything outdoor. Hunting, fishing, camping, golf, and more. Plus free interactive family activities, live music, the Big O Tires Custom Car Show, and a real catch and release pond from Fisherman's Warehouse. Don't miss this first ever event, sponsored by Roseville Auto Mall. Get your tickets now at NorCalSportsmanShow.com. That's NorCalSportsmanShow.com.
It's time to trade in and trade up at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com. It's all a click away.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own loan report.
Players know it's not just because you win more. It's because of everything else at Gold Country Casino Resort, where players roll in and winners are made. Winning isn't the only thing on the menu, and nightlife, it's more than entertaining. Drinks and dining options are abundant and guaranteed to satisfy your innermost desires. Come be our guests and see why Gold Country Casino Resort in Oroville is where the players play.
NorCal Sportsman Show, October 14th and 15th at the grounds in Roseville.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Ladd with your Sactown Sports headlines. Week 5 of the NFL came to an end last night on Monday Night Football, and the Raiders ended their 3-game losing streak with a 17-13 win over the Packers. Quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo was 22 of 31, throwing for 208 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Week 6 of the NFL gets started this Thursday with the Chiefs hosting the Denver Broncos on Thursday Night Football. You can listen to Thursday's game right here on Sactown Sports. The Sacramento Kings are off tonight. They'll be back in action tomorrow in Anaheim when they play the Los Angeles Lakers. You can listen to tomorrow's game right here on Sactown Sports. Reminder, all guests come to you via the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Carmichael Dave.
He has very good sources, and he just kind of tells it as it is and gets to the point.
Jason Ross.
He has a lot of pretty smart things to say.
He's good at what he does.
On Sactown Sports.
Back here on the show, Jason Ross with you. Christopher Ladd running things. Appreciate him. Carmichael Dave is off this week. Back with us next week. Anything you ever missed, by the way, go to SactownSports.com. Podcasted right there for the show if you want to listen at a later time, or if you missed something like Frankie Cardicelli stopping by for a half hour in studio talking Kings. We had Sean Salisbury moments ago. So anything you ever miss, make sure you go back to Sactown Sports. All the shows, you can check them out there. Cleaning up some things on the text line at 339-1140. Let's see. Someone had asked I think we asked the question about which player would you like to see from your childhood come back and play today. Someone's asked me, how did I not say Don Mattingly as a Yankee fan? Especially that was my favorite player. I just don't know if he'd be. I'd love to see him play again, but I don't know that he would be any different or special in this time frame. I mean, think of when you're a great player, whatever frame, you're going to be good in the next one as well in another generation. But someone also said Nolan Ryan would be awesome. Yeah, from the pitching side of things. I think Nolan Ryan would be fun to see pitch today at his current age. He's just always been one of those guys that's so darn intimidating. All right, it is that time for 4 down territory. Chris, let's hit us with that NFL bed. We got 4 downs. Let's start with first down. What you got?
Which team with a losing record right now do you have the most confidence in still making the playoffs?
All right, so let's go through this. You look at teams with that losing record. I'm going to do the NFC because I think that one is a little bit trickier in this sense. I think the team I'm going to keep my eye on with a losing record that I have the confidence to still make the playoffs would be the Rams. They're 2-3. I think they've been competitive in every loss. I think getting Cooper Kupp back is going to help them with what Puka Nacua is doing. Stafford's actually having a good year. I think that team is well coached. I think there's still some good personnel on that roster. You look at their point differential, they're still positive even though they're under 500. It's just trying to find a spot to get in the postseason. I think the NFC South has 3 teams that can create playoff spots. The Packers are a team below 500. I think the latest with the Vikings injury news with Justin Jefferson is going to be pretty damaging. And then the Eagles and Niners obviously are running away with things. So there's a spot or two to be had. But in the NFC, my answer would be the Rams. The AFC is trickier because teams with below 500 records are the Jets and Patriots. I'm honestly not a believer in either team. The Bengals should be a logical answer. They've won 2 of their last 3. I think they're pretty talented, but they got off to a slow start. That division, they're only 1 game out of the division lead, so that's why they can still make it. The AFC South probably has a couple of answers in the Texans and the Titans, though I would believe more in the Titans. And then you're down to the Raiders and Broncos. I think the Raiders will end up being better record-wise than some of these teams in the AFC, but not enough. And I don't think the Broncos could do it. So I guess my answers would probably be Titans, Bengals, Rams as the teams with records below 500 that have the most confidence in making a run towards the playoffs still. All right, second down.
What was your biggest miss so far on any of your fantasy teams?
I don't know if there's anybody I overvalued. Obviously, if you get players injured, I mean, that's rotten luck. One of my teams, I have Nick Chubb. All right. I mean, I don't think that was a misdraft. It's just rotten luck. Is there anybody off the top of your head, Chris, that you had an over-evaluation of or just obviously isn't playing as well as when you drafted him?
Jahmyr Gibbs.
I'm with you. I drafted him in 1. I heard some of the hype. I was a believer in the Lions. And then I'm like, David Montgomery, I don't think he's going to do much. He's been unreal. And I think on almost every league, I'm in 3, and I have just 1 Dolphin, and it's Tyreek Hill in 1 league. I obviously at this point, I wish I had more from that team. Probably even more Niners. And one of my thought on the Niners too, I have McCaffrey in 2 leagues out of my 3. But I thought, I don't know if the Niners are going to be offensively just so spread out and they've been that way a little bit, but they've just been so good getting 30-plus points a game. Kittle, if you had played him or drafted him, you're probably wondering, man, what am I going to get? No touchdowns, and then boom, you get 3 in 1 week. I don't know if would you like the guys, Chris, that gets you that, where you're like, oh, I just had a monster week from this guy and gets all his points, and I probably won that week? Or do you like the pretty consistency?
Scoring?
Yeah, that's more. I guess it's easier to manage that in fantasy football, but I certainly missed out on the Dolphins. Did you get any Dolphins? Do you have Tua in any of your leagues?
I do.
You do? And
yeah, that was like I drafted him as a backup.
Yeah, and so now he starts?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Who was your starter by chance in that league?
Kirk Cousins.
Well, he's been good, though.
Yeah.
Fantasy-wise.
It's one of those things like I'm trying to unload him.
Yeah. You'd rather trade Cousins?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, third down.
Which of the non-traditional game times is your favorite game of the week? Thursday Night Football's Broncos at Chiefs, London's Ravens at Titans, Sunday Night Football's Giants at Bills, or Monday Night Football's Cowboys at Chargers?
I don't know that one's jumping out at me. Maybe logically says Monday Night Football, Cowboys and Chargers might be the best game here. The London games are still tough for me. I mean, they're so darn early. I'm glad that Bills game is in Buffalo. I think that makes that more intriguing, but I don't think the Giants are that great. Gosh, of the primetime games this week, I don't think that's a great slate. For me, Chris, I'm going Cowboys Chargers, I guess.
I guess Broncos Chiefs.
That's your pick?
Yeah.
Big division. I mean, Broncos, I don't know.
Just because of Mahomes.
Yeah, you're watching more of Mahomes, right? But it's interesting when there's so many good teams around the league. It's just the way the schedule's laid out, and maybe at a time. I mean, Broncos-Chiefs has been a good game in the past, but I'll go Cowboys-Chargers based on the desperation maybe the Cowboys should show this week. All right, let's go to fourth down.
Will the Raiders ever get over 500 again this season?
All right, they started 1-0, dropped 3 in a row. Bills, Steelers, Chargers. Won yesterday to get to 2-3. Yeah, I think there's a window here for them. They'd have to win the next two, would be their next opportunity. They get the Patriots and the Bears going to Chicago. So if the Raiders truly believe they've improved on the defensive end, which I think they have, if they truly believe they can finally get this ground game going, they were dead last in NFL and rushing going into last night's game. It was a little bit better with Jacobs the last 2 weeks. Continue to find Devontae Adams. Keep Jimmy G healthy. Limit his mistakes. He still leads the league in interceptions. So Jimmy G, that been kind of one of his strengths is not making a lot of mistakes, but I think it was the 7th or 8th interception he threw last night. So he's got to trim that down. But yeah, I think they can. I think they can beat the Patriots and the Bears. That would get them back over 500. After that, it's the Lions, Giants, Jets. I mean, there's some wins ahead for the Raiders if they play right and if they do things the way they believe they should be done. I also would like to nudge Coach McDaniels a little bit. Have faith in your guys. Be a little more aggressive. Trust your offense and defense a little bit more. I personally would like to see him get above 500 and see if they can make it a little bit more interesting in that AFC West. Right now, you got the Chargers at 2-2. You've got the Chiefs getting a little separation at 4-1, and then Denver down there at the bottom at 1-4. All right, more football to come still. We'll have our NFL top 5, bottom 5 after 5 weeks. We've got Niners at 9, but when we come back, who's hot and who's not? We've got that for you on Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Happy 62nd birthday, Granddad.
Thanks, sweetheart.
I got you this.
A mug. Oh, thank you. What does it say? Beware. If you are 60 or older, you may be at increased risk of hospitalization from RSV, respiratory syncytial virus, compared to adults younger than 60.
Not all dangers come with warning labels. Talk to your pharmacist or doctor about getting vaccinated against RSV today. Learn more at bewareofrsv.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience. Yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
In business, service is everything. Cintas delivers what you need to better serve your customers. Whether it's freshly laundered work apparel for almost any job imaginable, tested and inspected fire protection systems, first aid and safety supplies, on-site AED training, or mops and restroom products, stocked and ready when you need them. Better work days happen together. So visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Your health is important, so keep yourself and your family covered with Medi-Cal. Medi-Cal renewals will be happening soon. So if you have Medi-Cal, make sure you don't miss any important renewal information. If you've moved in the last 3 years, check and update your mailing address, email address, and phone number. Learn more at keepmedicalcoverage.org. That's keepmedicalcoverage.org. Paid for by the California Department of Healthcare Services.
Hey guys, do you know what makes Revive Men's Health Sacramento different? You. Every Revive treatment and medication is personalized just for you. Revive has the experts that guys go to when their current treatment isn't working. They have a complicated medical condition, or they're just not happy with their daily performance. Since 2011, they've helped thousands of local men suffering with the symptoms of low T and ED. Their goal is simple: to get to the bottom of your issues and fix them. Your best performance requires more than generic ED medications or a low-dose testosterone booster at a low-ball price like you find online. Revive medications are custom compounded, affordable, and guaranteed to resolve your issues. Stop dealing with the symptoms of low T or ED. Book your free T-check and exam and save $199 today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit us at ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
You've probably heard the word, but do you know what a stimp meter is and how it works? Invented by Edward Stimpson in the 1930s, a stimp meter is a device used to measure the speed of putting surfaces. His version was made of wood and was simply a chute on which a golf ball would roll onto the green. Roderick Easdale writes in Golf Magazine, today's stimp meters are made of aluminum. They're 36 inches long and have a V-shaped chute down which the ball can roll. It has 2 notches on which the ball rests. After a flat area of the green is selected, a golf ball is placed in the notch and the end is slowly lifted until the ball rolls down the chute and across the green. The average of 3 distances becomes one of the measurements. The process is repeated in the opposite direction, and the measure of both directions is added and divided by 2. That figure in feet is the stimp meter reading. Most courses average 9 or 10 on stimp meter, which is neither too fast or too slow, just right for most recreational players. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
What's hot and what's not? Brought to you by American Energy Heat and Air, making the uncomfortable comfortable. Head to AmericanEnergyAir.com to find out more.
What's hot?
Yeah, hot. Real hot. And what's not?
It's not good. Brought to you by American Energy Heating and Air, Sacramento's complete heating and cooling company, and second opinion partner.
All right, Christopher Lott. Question for you. Who's hot?
Who's hot?
Yeah.
Austin Riley.
Austin Riley, the Austin Riley from the Atlanta Braves?
That's right.
Yeah.
He hit the go-ahead winning home run last night to take a 2-0 lead over the Phillies. Riley is one of 2 players for the Braves with multiple go-ahead postseason home runs in the 8th inning or later.
Riley.
Do you know who the other one is?
Who?
Chipper Jones.
Larry Chipper Jones. Let's hear what Austin Riley had to say about that home run and what it meant to him.
You know, it's definitely up there, you know, with my top ones. And I think, like I said, for me, it's the crowd that does it. I mean, how loud it gets, fighting with this team, just unbelievable team. Obviously still a lot of work to do.
Well, and here's how that home run sounded as called from Atlanta radio.
3-2 pitch. And he hits a high fly ball, deep left field, back to the wall, and it's gone! Austin Riley hitting him where it hurts, and the Braves take the lead in the 8th. The Braves have erupted. They've taken the lead, and this place is an insane asylum. They're going crazy.
All right, so Austin Riley is hot. Who's not?
Who's not?
Yeah.
Dodgers starting pitchers.
Oof. Woof.
Clayton Kershaw and Bobby Miller both got batted around a little bit.
Yeah.
They have a combined 40.50 ERA through 2 games. That is the worst starters ERA in the first 2 games of a series in Major League Baseball postseason history.
Oh, man. Can they come back and win 3 in a row?
No.
No, it's over?
It's over.
It's over. Here's Dave Roberts after the game yesterday.
Skipper, are you more frustrated or angry? Frustrated that you showed signs of trying to get back into the thing, but angry because of what happened at the end?
I wouldn't say angry. I thought all night long we had pitch to hit, and we just couldn't do much with them. Once we got to their pen, we had an opportunity. We cashed in on 1 run, and we could have had a chance for a big inning. Couldn't get the hit or the situational at bat. I mean, there's certainly fight. There always has been, but it comes down to results too.
Yeah, so the Dodgers in a world of hurt. Chris gave the who's not. They're starting pitching. They're in trouble, down 2-0. Atlanta saved their season. We played the highlight of Austin Riley, by the way. If anybody didn't see the end of the game, so I mean, it's just a wild game. They're getting no hit. They can't score. They got shut out in game 1. They're on the brink of getting booted of this series as far as being down 2-0 going back to Philly. They rally, they take the lead, but now they got to hang on to it. We got a couple different versions of the final play. This truly was an amazing way to finish. In fact, historical. It never happened with an outfield assist like this, a double play outfield assist to end a playoff game. Here's how it sounded for the Braves.
2-2. In the air, out towards right center field. Harris going to go back. Harris back to the warning track. He leaps. Leggo's got it. He's got it. They fired it in, and it rolls across the infield. Taken by Riley. He throws to the bag. They double him off. Ball game over. Braves win. I've never seen a play like that. Oh! Braves even up the series. It was back to the wall. Harris went to the wall. Harper took off. He made a leaping catch to the wall. Fired it in. It rolled past Albies. Backing up the play was Riley. He secured it, threw to the bag, doubled off Harper, and the Braves even up the series. Craziest double play you're ever going to see. What a catch by Michael Harris. Braves win it 5-4 and even up the series.
Yeah, I know there was a lot of grief to Bryce Harper. I mean, he's thinking score, and I don't blame him. I mean, again, I guess he could have waited, tagged up, got to second, and still been 2 outs. But I think he made the right play. He tried to get back, couldn't quite do it. Here's the TV call. This was really well done by Brian Anderson.
He deals a 2-2. Castellanos in the air to right center field. Harris is on the run. Harris at the track. He leaps, and he makes the catch. Harper might be doubled up. The throw gets away. The throw to first. It's over. It's over. Harper never tagged. He couldn't get back. And it's a double up to end game 2. Wow.
Just amazing. Amazing.
Anderson called the game?
How did Anderson call the game? Awesome finish to that. Good for the Braves to even up that series at 1 apiece. A couple other things before we get you to Niners at 9. Each kind of site out there, whether it's NBA.com. I know a few weeks ago we referenced a list from CBS Sports. I'm going to reference one now from ESPN. ESPN is over the next couple days, or at least I think 2 days here, going to rank the NBA players this upcoming season, 2023, from 100 to 1. So today they released players listed from 100 to 51. So the back 50. Chris, any guess as to if there is a Sacramento King at all ranked according to ESPN from player 51 to 100?
How many are there?
Yeah, if any, or how many? And who might it be?
I'll say, because I would think that De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis are
below
higher.
50. Yeah, or higher. Okay.
So I would say Keegan.
Okay. So 1 and Keegan.
Malik Monk.
2. Okay. If I remember right, CBS Sports, I think, had Kevin Huerter in the top 100, but near the end, like 90s or somewhere in there. And then Sabonis and Fox. And the Fox might have been 19, Sabonis around 25 or so. According to this list, I'm going to start shuffling through, like, for example, in reference, Mitchell Robinson, the center for the Knicks, is 100. I'm going to keep scrolling down. We get to, 96. And there is Harrison Barnes.
Oh.
Still in the top 100. He was a year ago on this list. Or last year he was ranked 74. One huge question for 23-24. What will his role be this season? Barnes signed a 3-year, $54 million extension over the summer. And on a younger team looking to continue its rise, he is a trusted veteran voice for reigning Coach of the Year Mike Brown. However, Barnes' minutes declined last year, and the addition of EuroLeague MVP Sasha Vezenkov could impact the way Sacramento uses Harrison Barnes in 23-24. So interesting that he's there. At 94, we'll continue to work our way up, or at 96. Some notables: Russell Westbrook, 94. Wow, has he fallen? Last year he was 65th. Let's see. We'll just keep scrolling through the top 90. Kevon Looney, King's Killer, 88, was not ranked last year. Buddy Hield, last year ranked 90th, this year 87, according to ESPN's top 100. Let's see. Tobias Harris paid very handsomely. He is 83rd, was 56. We'll keep scooting up here. Scoot Henderson, who's not played a game, is ranked 78th, according to this list. Chris Paul, last year 21, now 76. Let's see. Chet Holmgren, unranked a year ago, 73. Keep working our way up. Michael Porter Jr., unranked. 72nd last year, 68 this year. Austin Reeves from the Lakers. They have him at 66. This, again, according to ESPN's top 100 players, they've ranked 100 through 51. Let's see. We'll get into 60 to 51 or 59 to 51. Marcus Smart at 59. Jeremy Grant, 58. Zion Williamson, 57. He's a top 15 player when healthy, but that's the problem. Fred VanVleet, 56. Draymond Green, 55. Andrew Wiggins, 54. Josh Giddey, 53. Franz Wagner, 52. And Aaron Gordon, 51.
So Keegan and Malik must be in the top 50 then.
I'm agreeing. Probably top 5. My guess tomorrow is Fox will be around 18 to 22, and Sabonis will be 25 to 32, somewhere in there. That's my guess. We'll see when that list is released. So anyway, there you go. There's a look at who's hot and who's not. We still have more to get to in our final hour. Let's line it up for you. We will have, to close out the show, Crosstalk with Zachariah and Watkins. We'll have celebrity birthdays, decent list today. Let's go streaking. We got to continue to see how we do on our playoff hitting streak and what to watch today. Plus NFL top 5 and bottom 5. The 5 best teams after 5 weeks. And in my mind, the 5 worst teams after 5 weeks. But when we come back, it's 9 o'clock. You know what that means? Niners at 9. We'll take a dive inside the numbers on the 49ers. We'll do that as we start our final hour of the Tuesday show. That is straight ahead on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Can Mike Brown build on last season's Coach of the Year award? Can the Kings exceed 48 wins?
We will be better prepared to make the run that we expect to run come next playoff.
Tune into every Kings game this season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions, not available in all areas. If you're a small business owner, listen up. Pi Insurance wants to give you one of those aha moments, the kind that could save you money. Workers' comp is probably one of the biggest costs you face. But did you know that insurance providers have flexibility in setting their prices? That's right. But many don't bother giving small businesses the savings you deserve. Instead, you can get lumped in with other businesses and overcharged. Pi Insurance was created to change that. With Pi, you get a quote tailored specifically to your business, and you could save up to 30% with no hassle and no hidden fees. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate. So your workers' comp audit experience is simplified. Take 3 minutes to see how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or go to trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
As a mom, I'd do anything to keep my child out of physical pain. As a doctor, I know that growth spurts can cause pain in my child's feet, and that can affect their legs and back too.
This is Dr. Pamela Maida, a board-certified orthopedic surgeon.
Children especially benefit from arch supports as a sturdy and supportive foundation for their developing feet. If your kids have pain, then I recommend Youth Arch Supports from the Good Feet store.
Youth Arch Supports are designed to alleviate, even eliminate common pain in the feet, knees, hip, or back. If your child is physically active with sports, clubs, or even on the playground, they may benefit from the comfort and support found in Good Feet Youth Arch Supports.
I firmly believe that investing in Youth Arch Supports for your child or teen is one of the best decisions you can make to support their feet.
See how Youth Arch Supports can help with a free arch support fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTK AM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlod with your Sactown Sports headlines. Week 5 of the NFL came to an end last night on Monday Night Football, and the Raiders ended their 3-game losing streak with a 17-13 win over the Packers. Quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo was 22 of 31, throwing for 208 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Week 6 of the NFL gets started this Thursday with the Chiefs hosting the Denver Broncos on Thursday Night Football. You can listen to Thursday's game right here on Sactown Sports. Sacramento Kings are off tonight. They'll be back in action tomorrow in Anaheim when they play the Los Angeles Lakers. You can listen to tomorrow's game right here on Sactown Sports. Reminder, all guests come to you via the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone. When he's not on the microphone, he's playing a song. And when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone. And then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
Yep. Final hour of the show for this Tuesday. Jason Ross and Carmichael Davis back with us on Monday. Chris Verlod hanging out with us as usual. We appreciate him. We appreciate all of you checking us out here on Sactown Sports. It is time for Niners at 9. Before we kind of get into some Niners by the numbers, let's start with good news regarding San Francisco. Of all the things that went well on Sunday night, trying to nitpick and find something that didn't go right, well, there was some concern about the injury to Aaron Banks from the offensive line. I remember he got hurt. The early thought was a biceps injury, and that would have put him out for some time. But now they're saying it's more shoulder related, which for whatever reason is encouraging. Also because it's more encouraging as the Niners are putting him at day-to-day. He may miss some time, but it certainly doesn't look as damaging as it was or could have been. Let's put it that way. So we'll start with some good news there. We're going to get inside the numbers in a moment. We played a lot of sound yesterday regarding the Niners win. Wanted to get a little bit more from the opposing team, the Cowboys' perspective. I know Micah Parsons was a little bit more outspoken yesterday, and he shared a few things about the way they played, the way they lost, and about how they got to be able to handle the situation a little better than they did.
You got to learn how to take a punch. We got punched in the face tonight, and that's just reality of it. I'm not shying from we got beat up in all phases. I mean, and that's just the reality of it.
They did, and I'm glad he's not running for it. I don't think the Cowboys would. They know, but they're also at this point not losing their confidence in themselves. Here's what Parsons had to say about them and the Niners.
I don't think they really are higher level than us. I think we're the same caliber playoff team, if not the same talent standard as them. I just feel like we need to really reconsider some things, get together, and fix some things. I feel like it was a few plays away. The score don't really shape what really happened out there. I just feel like there was nothing that they did besides us beating ourselves. I mean, you look at the third downs, I jump off sides, and then they get 7, 5 plays later. It was just like, I feel like we just beat us. And, you know, that's the thing with, like, good teams like this. If you beat yourselves, it shows its magnitude. And today, we were the 4 turnover team. We was the team that couldn't get off the field on third down and didn't succeed in those things. But I don't think that we're off the same caliber at all.
Okay. Well, I disagree with that. It's okay for him to think that. I would never want a team or a player, a coach to lose confidence in their squad. Dallas should still at this moment think they could win the Super Bowl. That's how they should approach things. And, of course, they still can. But they got to figure out the why. And I don't think it was as simple as, hey, it's what we did. No, you got outplayed. I mean, you got to admit that. They got completely outplayed by the 49ers. And I think really from the get-go and as the game continued on, it just got worse and worse and worse for this team. And again, I mentioned that 6-possession stretch yesterday. Touchdown, interception, touchdown, interception, touchdown. Interception, I believe it was. 3 interceptions, touchdowns in between that for the Niners. Separation was there. Even if they're not throwing picks and giving the Niners the ball back, the Niners were moving the ball effectively. They were doing what they wanted. They were in control of the game. Maybe it's not 42-10. I'll give you that. But maybe it's 28-10. Still comfortable. Still the better team was the 49ers, certainly on that day, and I think overall. And really, Dallas is the one that's being asked questions. This is a team like, okay, where was the running game in Pollard? Is Dak, what happened to Dak? Can he handle these big moments? Where for the 49ers, what are we trying to pick apart? Is Banks okay? Yeah, the good news is it looks like he is. Yeah, Brock Purdy continues to answer the questions each and every week. Defense, hey, can there be a game where the defense dominates? They did. They're checking all the boxes. 49ers looking really, really good. Let's get a little bit more here from Micah Parsons. Here's what he had to say about George Kittle.
George Kittle had 3 touchdowns on us, and he posted this thing to IG. He said, F Dallas. I just feel like he's making it way more personal than it had to be. Kittle's my guy, but I'm going to say this. Laugh now, cry later. We got something for that. Just trust. If we see them again, just trust. And we're going to put it just like that. I ain't going to put too much on it. You're going to make it personal. We can make it personal. That's cool.
All right. Well, I think Niner fans would like to see it again. And basically, Cowboy fans probably would too. They know the risk. If you play a team twice and the second one being in the postseason, that's the one that matters more. So, I mean, the Niners could leave with this 42-10 trouncing of Dallas. And if they were to meet again and Dallas won, I mean, they would have the last laugh, certainly in the postseason. But we'll see. There's a little bit of feud there, a little bit of blood, and I like it. I think that's good for sports, and it doesn't have to get nasty by any means. But, all right, Parsons obviously remembers George Kittle and the shirt and some of the things he posted. But Kittle and the Niners had the last laugh. All right, let's get into some numbers here regarding the 49ers and kind of want to look at a couple of different individuals. First, I'm going to start defensively. Deshaun Gibson, he had his 33rd career interception, had that in the game, picking off Dak Prescott. I got that one Sunday night. Only active players with more currently, Harrison Smith has 34 with the Vikings. Patrick Peterson has 35. So Gibson with 33 right there in the active career interception leaders. Jake Moody has been really good for the 49ers. Remember the concern as training camp was going on? We were talking about training camp issues. Moody had missed a couple of kicks, hurt the leg. Zane Gonzalez was in camp. He was injured. Are the Niners not going to have a kicker in week 1 after drafting one higher than most teams ever do? Well, Moody's been great. He's been consistent, and right now he is one of 9 remaining NFL kickers that has not missed either a field goal or a PAT. It's good to have a weapon. I was a bit nervous about, not Moody per se, but about when the Niners confirmed that they were going away from Robbie Gould, who had been a really good kicker for years in Chicago. I wondered, gosh, did the Niners get him at the end of his career? And they did, but he still had a really good, productive run with the San Francisco 49ers. And they could have come back with him. I mean, he was consistent. He was reliable. Moody's got a much better leg. And so I get why they did it. It was a little bit risky. But when you start to think about the Niners' decision-making process, as much as they can be picked apart for trading up and the draft capital it took to get Trey Lance, and then already he's off the team, sure, it's fair to take shots at that. But if you're going to do that, you also have to compliment them in still drafting your quarterback last in Brock Purdy, him developing, him being the guy that he is now, and just the other moves they've made. They've been an aggressive team. I'm intrigued by Randy Gregory, what he's going to mean for this team going forward with a defense that's already filled with studs. This team is positioned very, very well. And then the last number inside the numbers here on our Niners at 9, it's the guy, Brock Purdy. If you go inside the numbers of Brock Purdy right now, the season he's having, he is number 1 in the NFL in passer rating. He is number 2 in completion percentage. He trails only Josh Allen in that category. So he's completing 71% of his passes. Allen's the only one fractionally better, but number 1 in passer rating. In fact, his percentage, completion percentage, is second best all time after 10 starts. Believe it or not, Chad Pennington in his first 10 starts had a better completion percentage than Brock Purdy. And his QB rating is number 1 all time after 10 starts. So I think the only reference point people could utilize right now, to me, as a negative against Brock Purdy would be sample size. You can only critique a player off of what you've seen. And in the 10 games he's been a starter, he's been great. He is, I don't even know if I'd say grown on me. I've now gone to the point of, I just really hope people appreciate what he's doing. It was great talking to Sean Salisbury earlier and how he dissected the play of Brock Purdy. And he said, look, people are waiting for him to fail. And I don't know why. It just feels like a wasted exercise. Again, and that's not to mean he can't have a bad game or a throw where you go, what did you see there? That's the nature of the position. But for the amount of time he has executed this position for a Super Bowl caliber team, I don't know if people can appreciate how difficult that is. And I think when you look at other teams that maybe aren't Super Bowl ready or the pressures of that, but just how he looks, how this offense looks, how they're functioning more. They're getting 30 or more under Brock Purdy. The win streak's at 15 regular season. He looks so poised, so comfortable, calm, cool, and collected, but yet there's a good passion and energy and confidence about him. As you can tell, I'm heaping a lot of praise on him, but he deserves it. The quick decision-making, the processes that he has to go through, and generally, more times than not, he makes the right decision. I said it yesterday. I'll say it again. I think maybe my favorite drive of the game for him and for the Niners was after the Cowboys scored. It's 14-7. There's this brief window of, okay, maybe the Cowboys, maybe they're back in this. Maybe they could do something here. Purdy gets blitzed from his strong side, looks like does a quick survey of the field, drops one perfectly over the middle of the defense, like the linebackers. It's one-on-one coverage on the outside. Ayuk's running down the sideline, just lays it in perfectly. Only Ayuk could catch it. With touch, scoots up the sideline, huge gain, penalty on the Niners. Take that away, move them back. So instead of this huge, 25, 30-yard play, move him back, put him in a tough down and distance. He comes right back with a crossing route over the middle. The only guy that could catch it, I believe that was Ayuk. It might have been Debo, I said yesterday. I can't remember who. But it was just the touch. Perfect. 2 in a row. So it's unfazed by what happened on the play before, where a lot of quarterbacks be like, oh, man, you just got rid of a positive play and a perfect throw and a well-executed play. He bounces back and responds to it and goes right back and does it again. And then just touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. The flea flicker was perfect. His execution, who he spreads the ball around to over the different games. When game planning is, look, Ayuk's the biggest deep threat. Kittle and Debo are short underneath route guys, but also break tackle guys. Juszczyk, McCaffrey, he just utilizes everybody in the offense perfectly. He's just really done a great job, and I think inside the numbers shows it. So things are going very, very well right now for the San Francisco 49ers, certainly for Purdy, for the entire roster. I think they've done a good job of staying focused. Sean said that perfectly, too, earlier. Like, look, the bigger games that they played, I think Pittsburgh was a statement game to start the year, certainly this Cowboy game. And those two, I think they've had their sharpest focus. They look so polished, so seasoned. The only thing you hope for is that the Niners aren't peaking too early, because last year they got off to the slow start, then peaked as the season went along and really couldn't be touched until the NFC Championship game. But even the games that maybe you could lose focus, a short week with the Giants, Arizona, they're not a great team. The Niners did enough to control those games and never really put themselves in any jeopardy of losing. So things are all good in Niners land and will continue to stay that way as they move along the season. Where will they find their spot in my top 5, bottom 5? I think you've got a pretty good idea. But who fills out the rest of the top 5 and the 5 worst teams as well after 5 weeks? We've got top 5, bottom 5 coming your way next here on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Check out the with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Jim Gaffigan here with some more Straight Talk. Now you can get a Walmart Plus membership, plus not pay for it, because it's included with Straight Talk wireless plans. You get free delivery with Walmart Plus a Paramount Plus subscription included. Plus, you pay less for gas. That's a lot of pluses.
Only Straight Talk gives you unlimited 5G data and Walmart Plus included on select plans for free.
Straight Talk Wireless, available at Walmart.
Requires service on Gold or Platinum Unlimited. One offer per eligible account. Paramount Plus Essential Plan only. Separate registration required. Additional terms apply.
Model year-end pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the model year-end event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Black and purple. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on your local sports leader, Sactown Sports.
Coming up, we'll get Let's Go Streaking, what to watch. Busy day in sports. Get some more preseason action, a couple of baseball playoff games we'll discuss. And Crosstalk with Zachariah and Watkins still to come, along with Celebrity Birthdays, brought to you by our friends at Crumble Cookies. But we've just wrapped up another week of NFL action. Week 5 wrapped up last night, and it ended this way with Monday Night Football on the Raiders' defense getting it done.
Shotgun snap. 3-step drop, eyeing the middle, pressure up the middle, long, out of the pocket, throws downfield for the end zone, intercepted! Amik Robertson in the back corner, picks it off in front of Watson, and the Raiders defense just seals the victory here in Vegas. There's the last snap, Garoppolo last knee, the clock is going to tick to 0, and for the first time since 1987, the Raiders knock off the Packers. They snap an 8-game losing skid to Green Bay and move to 2-3 on the year with a 17-13 win here tonight over Green Bay.
All right, so the Raiders get the victory. Packers drop the game. 5 weeks of NFL action is complete. Chris, I don't know if you have an NFL bet, but we'll give our top 5 teams, our bottom 5 teams in the NFL after 5 weeks. So do the Raiders or Packers appear on either of these lists? Looking at it, no. Neither one. They're right in that middle pack somewhere between those two teams. All right, the bottom 5 to me was a little bit more challenging, believe it or not, than the top 5. There's a good case to be made for several teams. I'm going to tell you 2 teams that I debated on, that I left out, and their record probably suggests that they should be there, but I didn't put them in. And those 2 teams that I thought of in the bottom 5 that I didn't put in, the Minnesota Vikings at 1-4, there's a strong case to be made for them. They've been competitive. They've been in a lot of these games. They've had some tough luck. And the news today, if you haven't heard by now, Justin Jefferson put on the IR. He's going to miss at least 4 games. But I kept them out of the bottom 5. And I also kept, believe it or not, I'm surprised by this because I thought they were going to be absolutely horrendous this year. I've kept the Cardinals out of the bottom 5. I like the way Arizona has continued to compete. If you look at them through 1 win and 4 losses, obviously they beat the Cowboys. That was impressive. They hung with the Commanders, had a huge lead that they blew with the Giants. I wouldn't say they had a chance to beat the Niners, but I don't think they totally embarrassed themselves. And then last week they had the lead on the Bengals, ultimately lost by a couple scores. But I think they played some tough teams. I think they've been gritty and tough. And I'm respecting them enough to keep them out of my bottom 5. Team 28, so the 5th worst team to me, and they are dropping fast like an anchor around their feet. The New England Patriots. 1-4, had their worst loss for Bill Belichick, getting shut out at home to the Saints. And the problem right now would, to me, for the New England Patriots, the one thing under Bill Belichick, yeah, obviously he had Brady and other offensive weapons. What they always could hang their hat on was a really good defense. That defense is not very good anymore, and it's getting exposed and getting worked, and that's an area that needs to improve. Teams that have allowed more points than the Patriots right now to date, the list includes the Denver Broncos, the Miami Dolphins, the Washington Commanders, the Chicago Bears, the New York Giants. That's it. So they're near the bottom 5. I put them 5th worst at 28, the New England Patriots. At 29, the Denver Broncos. I had a little bit more hope for Denver. I'm a Sean Payton fan. I was a Sean Payton fan. Didn't love what he said coming out of the offseason. So you say that? You can. You have every right? Freedom of speech. Okay. Well, sure. But you also have to deal with the circumstances and the ramifications of what you say. You call out Nathaniel Hackett like that, I don't think that's cool. That's kind of out of the coaching code norm. But you can do it. You better back it up. You have not. Then you play Hackett this last week. And you're at home. The Jets don't have Aaron Rodgers. They're not playing that great. They didn't play that great in the game, and neither did you. So shame on the Broncos. Shame on Sean Payton. They dropped to 29, 4th worst team in the NFL to me, and maybe dropping as well. The 3rd worst and moving up, and maybe I should give him a little more respect, but since Denver beat him, I'm keeping him at 3rd worst. That's the Chicago Bears. They had a great win on Thursday night, their first win in a long time. And Justin Fields had a better statistical day. DJ Moore was great. And they established an early lead and hung on to the lead. But still, I'm thinking about season-long and maybe back to last season's long achievements. I'm putting Chicago at 30 as the 3rd worst team. 2nd worst team. This team completely, in my mind, overachieved last year. They did a great job from their coaching by Brian Daboll. But the Giants are now 1-4. And shut out by the Cowboys to start things out. Somehow rallied to beat the Cardinals. Niners got them pretty good. Seahawks beat them by 21. Dolphins by 50. They played good teams. I'll give them that. And now they get the Bills. So it's going to get worse likely before it gets better. But I think the Giants overachieved last year. They are the 4th worst team, or the 2nd worst team, and the worst team. And this one's strictly on record, but also point differential a little bit. The Carolina Panthers. 0-5 at this moment, with losses to the Falcons, Saints, Seahawks, Vikings, and Lions. All right, so if the bottom 5 are Patriots, Denver, or Patriots, Broncos, Bears, Giants, Panthers, let's get you the top 5 after 5 weeks, according to me. The Kansas City Chiefs, I put at number 5. 4-1. I haven't liked the way, I don't think they've looked dominant. They've been good. Their win resume, best win has got to be Jacksonville. They beat the Bears. They beat the Vikings. They beat the Jets. All teams that I debated on, not the Jets as much, but teams I debated on in the NFL's bottom 5. So I'm punishing them a little bit for their win resume, but still top 5 and a threat every week to move up. Chiefs, 5th ranked team according to me in top 5, bottom 5. Number 4. This team's fun. The Miami Dolphins. Tough news today about Devon Achane, who is going to be out for a couple of weeks with his injury. But Miami's win resume, not bad. Denver, New England, Chargers, Giants. Well, actually, 3 teams that I have in the bottom 5. But they've just been so dynamic and so dominant in their offensive performance and their losses to the Bills. So pretty good respect for them. Chiefs 5, Dolphins 4. Number 3. First time I've had them this high. The Detroit Lions. Yeah, 4-1. Better win resume, more complete. They've beaten Green Bay. They've beaten Carolina. They've beaten Atlanta. And they've beaten Kansas City. So I got to have them above the Chiefs at 3. At number 2, the Philadelphia Eagles. Philly. Fly, Eagles, fly. Undefeated. Hasn't been as smooth and as perfect as the number 1 team. We've had an overtime scare. But, look, 5-0 is 5-0. One of the league's best, coming off a great year a year ago. I put the Eagles at number 2. And number 1 on my list of the NFL's top 5, bottom 5, number 1, your San Francisco 49ers. They've been in control of just about every game, dominant in all aspects, including Sunday's just brilliant performance against the Cowboys. So, 49ers, my number one team. Top 5, Chiefs, Dolphins, Lions, Eagles, Niners being number 1. And the bottom 5, Patriots, Broncos, Bears, Giants, Panthers being dead last. So there you go. There's the NFL top 5, bottom 5. We break. When we come back, we'll streak. We'll see if Chris and I continued our playoff streaks, tell you what to watch, and a few more news and notes before we get to crosstalk. That's all straight ahead here on Sactown Sports.
Has Monty put together a roster that can help make a deep playoff run this season?
Just trying to give coach options, give him guys that can help us win in a variety of areas. Obviously, our top guys are going to play every game, but there's going to be other times, whether it's injuries, matchups, we've got to have some variety on the bench for coach to point to and say, go in there and help us win.
Tune into every Kings game this season
on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Ron had a tax problem he just couldn't handle on his own.
I owed the IRS taxes for over 5 years, but I didn't have any money to pay the taxes.
Those years cost him dearly.
Most of it was fees and interest. It was horrible.
Ron finally called in the pros.
I called Optima Tax Relief, and boy, am I happy I did.
The leading tax resolution firm, Optima, is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. They've resolved over $1 billion for their clients. Ron was overjoyed.
They settled my account with IRS. I was ecstatic. They are a lifesaver. They are. I am so happy.
Take Ron's advice and call Optima now for a free consultation.
Yeah, don't do like I did and wait. Call Optima Tax Relief. Do it now. You'll be ecstatic like me.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave letting you know Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room and primetime football location, is back. Cap Casino giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region, and conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Check it out. Capital Casino. And as always, please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Got a drain that's clogged up? Or maybe a toilet? Or a faucet that just won't quit leaking? Kenny and Jerry here from Bell Brothers, and we want you to know that it does make a difference which plumber you call.
At Bell Brothers, we respect your time by showing up when we say we'll be there. Our technicians are all background checked and drug tested, and will greet you with a smile.
They're trained to do the job right the first time, and they carry over 1,000 parts on their trucks, so they won't have to order something and then come back later.
They leave the work area cleaner than they found it, and your final bill will be the same as they quoted. That's why they call us the No Surprise Guys.
So if you need a plumber, it does make a difference who you call. Call Bell Brothers. Our number is 916-444-1234, or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com. That's 916-444-1234, or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Ladd with your Sactown Sports headlines. Week 5 of the NFL came to an end last night on Monday Night Football, and the Raiders ended their 3-game losing streak with a 17-13 win over the Packers. Quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo was 22 of 31, throwing for 208 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Week 6 of the NFL kicks off this Thursday with the Chiefs hosting the Denver Broncos on Thursday Night Football. You can listen to the game right here on Sactown Sports. Sacramento Kings are off tonight. They'll be back in action tomorrow when they take on the Los Angeles Lakers in Anaheim. You can listen to tomorrow's game right here on Sactown Sports. Reminder, all guests come to you via the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
It's time to go streaking.
We're going streaking!
Who is the Nostradamus of MLB? Who can keep the streak going? It's time to go streaking.
What the hell are you doing? You're streaking!
It's that time. See how we do on our streaking playoff version of just trying to get a hit a day. Pick a player. If you get a hit, then you can't pick that player again. It's that simple. Seemingly that simple. So it's time to go streaking. The regular season record was set by Carmichael Dave, where he had 11-game hitting streak. I had a 10. Jay Mars, I think, had 9. But Dave has the record. So we're seeing if we could break it in the postseason. Dave's last opportunity, he did not get a hit, so he's at 0. He'll start anew when he's back. Bob Gerald, who'll be back with us on Thursday for the show, he is at 1, so he'll get another chance to try to get that to 2 on Thursday. Chris, you entered the day yesterday at 0. I entered the day at 3. Let's start with you. You were at 0, but you've gone to your guy. Like, you know, you like all your guys, but you really like yourself some Mookie Betts.
Love Mookie Betts.
I know that probably started as Mookie Betts as a Red Sox.
Yes.
I don't think you like the Dodgers, but you like Mookie.
Yes. Just like I love Joe Kelly, but
not as a Dodger.
Not as a Dodger.
Wait, one of your all-time favorite players is Noma, right?
He was a Dodger.
How'd that go?
I will say that I did cheer for him when he hit that walk-off home run. I think September 16th, 2005? 2006.
As a Dodger?
Guess. I think so, yeah. He had like back-to-back home runs.
Why do you know that? September 16th. Like, that's very specific.
916 day. Oh. And something else, but...
Okay, but you're pretty convinced that he homered on September 16th. What's your guess?
I think it was September 16th, either 2005 or 2006.
Okay, let me see if I can find it.
I'm going to say 06.
I think you might be right. Because was he a Cub in 05?
He got traded in 04 to the Cubs. I want to say he was still with the Cubs in 05. Then it might be 07 because he had like a really bad injury with the Cubs.
Okay, let me try 07.
I'm going to say 06.
Yeah, I'm going to need to do some work here to find it. But either way, it's impressive. See if you can find it. Anyway, you have picked Mookie Betts as your player to get a hit to start a streak for you. You were at 0.
Oh, I was so close.
What is it?
September 18th.
Okay.
Monarchs guard Tisha Penichero's birthday.
Oh, yeah, of course.
2006.
2006.
So I was 2 days off.
Okay, Dodgers win on Homer Fest. Okay, I see it come up. 11-10 final score. And Noma Garciaparra hit a 2-run homer in the bottom of the 10th as the Dodgers shocked the Padres on Monday night. Dave Roberts was playing for the Padres then. Wow, Kenny Lofton, Noma, Jeff Kent. Oh, my.
I don't remember Kenny Lofton playing that long.
Yeah, that's a wild game. 11-10 was the final. All right, well, good recall. I'll give you that. So you picked Mookie Betts. All that to say, yesterday we know the Dodgers lost. Dodgers had 6 hits and 2 runs.
Okay.
Mookie got 4 plate appearances.
Getting better.
Things are getting better. Things are getting worse. 0 for 4 for Mookie. Okay.
I just want to say how much of a cooler I am. And if you're a fan of a baseball team still in the playoffs and you want your team to win, tell me the opponent's best player and I will pick them.
And you'll cool them off.
And they will go hitless.
All right. Well, I was at 3. I was trying to get to 4. and I went for that Braves-Phillies game. I'm really enamored by that Braves offense, and I went with Ozzie Albies. Well, the Braves scored 5 runs, but only got 4 hits, and they got them all late because they were getting no hit through 6. Ozzie Albies, 4 plate appearances. He got a hit. 1 of the 4 hits. I am at 4. Chris, you are at 0, but today is a new day. So, Chris, I'll let you lead off. Your choices are Astros, Twins, Orioles, Rangers. You can pick anybody you'd like from either of those teams.
Except I can't pick Mookie Betts.
Except for Mookie. Unless he gets traded that we didn't know about in a rare postseason trade.
I'm going to take Marcus Semien.
Marcus Semien, former Oakland A. There you go. Should get some plate appearances, obviously, in that one. I'm going to stick with the same game and even the same team from the Texas Rangers. I've already taken Corey Seager, so I can't utilize him in my stretch, but I do like the way Josh Young hits. He got me a couple hits this year during the streak. Now they bat him 8th. Okay. I'm still going to go with him for the Texas Rangers as my guy to try to get the streak to 5. As far as things to watch today and to check out, we did mention baseball. I like that it's day baseball today. 1:07 first pitch with Houston and Minnesota. That's game 3. Orioles at the Rangers tonight as the Rangers can eliminate Baltimore. What a story the Orioles have been. And I hope that series continues because, Texas won 90 games, but Baltimore won 101. 101-61, and here they are in their postseason for the first time. Really, it's not like this is going to be the one and only time, I don't think, for the Orioles. They've got a great farm system. They're really young. This team should be good for a little while, but you hope they're rewarded with a playoff victory here at some point. So, again, that series 2-0 Texas, trying to end that. Tonight, other things you could check out if you so desire is more preseason basketball. A ton of games tonight. You got the Cavs taking on the Hawks, Hornets and Heat, Pacers and Rockets, Bucks, Grizzlies, Magic, Pelicans, Jazz, Clippers, Nuggets, Suns. Kings won't be in action again until tomorrow when they take on the Lakers. But as far as preseason goes, last night was a lot of fun. We brought this game up earlier. If anybody had a chance to check out highlights or see any of it, Spurs and Thunder, it was a great game as far as the way the overall game played out. But the stat line is what I think caught a lot of people's attention with 2 young prospects, exciting type of players, and just marvel at the skill of both Chet Holmgren and Victor Wembanyama. Here's Wembanyama's final stat line. In 19 minutes yesterday, he did start at center, 8 of 13, 20 points, hit 2 threes, made 2 of 3 free throws, 5 rebounds, no assists, 2 steals, a block, 2 fouls. And again, 20 points, did that in 19 minutes. For OKC, in even less time, Chet Holmgren, 16 minutes, was 7 of 10, hit both of his threes, 5 of 7 from the line, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 0 steals, 1 block, no turnovers. He had 21 points in 16 minutes. A couple of young players with bright outlooks. And, I think the league is in really good hands in the NBA right now. I think the amount of teams that are good are helpful. The amount of individual players that are good. And I think they've got a really good mix of young up-and-coming stars still to go with that mid-range group of people that have been playing for some time, and then people that are on the back end of their career that hopefully you still appreciate. Because that happens a lot in the NBA and really in all sports, that sometimes you don't appreciate a player until they're gone or until they announce it's their final year. It's like, no, I don't want you to go. And when before it was, I can't wait till that guy's done, or I don't like that team and I don't like him on that team. That's the way things kind of work in sports and certainly in the league. But you've got that back end, of LeBron and even Curry to this point and some other aging veterans that are still great. Dame Lillard's been around a while now too, just some really good players. But these young up-and-comers keep the league evolving and moving and pushing forward. And that's why I say the league's in a pretty good spot at this point. All right, so when we come back, we do have one final segment. Look forward to checking in with our guys, Zachariah and Chris Watkins. We've got celebrity birthdays brought to you by Crumble Cookies. We'll see how the guys do on their guesses for that. Preview what's coming up on their show. And again, want to remind everybody about tomorrow on this show, we will visit with UC Davis football head coach Dan Hawkins. Also, Brendan Nunez will join us for a couple segments. And at Niners at 9 tomorrow, our 49ers insider, Emil Fragoso, will join us as well. Break time for us. Crosstalk is next here on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
One of the reasons people buy new cars is because of the warranty. They don't want to have to worry about things breaking and the fear of unexpected repair costs. But did you know Elk Grove Kia has one of the longest warranties around at 20 years or 200,000 miles? No other Kia dealer offers that. You would have to be a real to buy from anyone other than Elk Grove Kia. And if you're worried about financing, don't. Elk Grove Kia believes in second, third, and sometimes fourth chances because Elk Grove Kia's management team has over 100 years of combined automotive experience. We know how to say yes a lot more than the others do. Collections, past due bills, repos, bankruptcies. Your job is your credit. So where others fail to get you into your new ride, we can get you qualified. Let Elk Grove Kia show you why we're out to be the #1 Kia dealer in California. So when you're ready for some peace of mind and a friendly face, come visit us, Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, or check us out online at elkgrovekia.com.
Elk Grove Kia.
Red Hawk Resort Casino is the best place to go all in and all out. Go all in at our table games, then go all out to win on the area's only 3-story indoor kart track. Or go all in for our famous award-winning buffet. Then go all out at our state-of-the-art 18-lane bowling center. And now with a world-class sports bar and beautiful resort hotel. You can go all in for fun and all out for comfort. We're Red Hawk Resort Casino, official casino partner of the Sacramento Kings.
A psoriasis flare-up can make a walk in the park, well, no walk in the park.
It's that obvious, huh? I've tried so many lotions and creams, but I still have symptoms.
So those don't do enough to treat the inflammation beneath the skin, leaving you with those uncontrolled symptoms.
Makes sense, but what else can I do?
You can get real with your dermatologist so they can help you get clear. Make an appointment and, you're already on it.
Hi, yes, I'd like to make an appointment.
Get real clear about psoriasis at letsgetrealclear.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
O'Reilly.
Protect your vehicle's engine with Syntec and O'Reilly Auto Parts. Syntec Premium Full Synthetic Motor Oil is formulated for today's engines to dissipate heat and friction and reduce wear. Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select filter for just $33.99. Limit supply. See store for details. Get Syntec only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
It's time for the news of the day.
The latest headlines, the biggest stories, hard-hitting analysis.
Yeah, this is none of those things. And now, here's Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross.
Yeah, I was waiting for it. It was Zachariah first. Yeah. I was waiting for the slow clap.
I got you.
What's up, guys?
What's up?
How are you?
No complaints.
Good. We got that's coffee, right? I smell coffee. Yeah. And then what do you got there?
This is a little seltzer water.
Okay.
Little flavor. I don't
What's
know
the flavor to it?
This one says ginger lime mule. Okay. It's really just it's more of like a ginger beer, but a little bit more water. I mean,
I don't know that. I'm not. Where are you guys on the carbonated water?
Love it.
You do?
Settles the stomach.
I used to be LaCroix? So out. I used to like be adamant that like this is terrible. I don't know why you would have this and not just like a
regular water
soda or like I mean there's also more flavored soda waters out there than like LaCroix or anything like that. But I don't know. Like within the past 2 years or so, it just caught a bug. Yeah.
It settles the stomach. I even had the thing where you push the button and it makes your regular
soda
water.
Stream?
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I wasn't going to give him a free plug.
Hey, man.
Well, we got to go sell that. We got to sell that account.
Hey, they got to know that I'm using it.
I got you.
What? Yeah. How does those? But those can be soda, literally, right?
Yeah.
Like soda flavoring.
I just bought some of those. Yeah.
So it's really like a CO3. Yeah, I don't do the I just do regular water, but make it bubbly. I just like the bubbles. The bubble just helps.
But you can put like an extract in there.
Yeah, you can.
Stuff like
that.
They
sell things on the side.
Soda. Yeah.
I don't go to these restaurants enough, but if you're a waiter at some of the restaurants to go, would you like water, sparkling or?
Problem is, sparkling costs money.
Oh,
still
no,
free.
No.
You get free bubbly water.
I thought when they offer
what establishments you guys are going to.
Comes from the gun.
Oh,
my girlfriend's a bartender, so
I thought when they offered it like that, I assumed it was free, but I always get flat. But you would pick sparkling.
Oh, for sure, but I always thought you had to pay for that. So now I know I can get that for free.
Straight from the gun.
Good to know. All right.
Yeah.
Like if they started charging for chips and bread at places, I'd be in trouble. Because that's like a big deal. Like if you've got good chips and salsa, bread, it's hard to screw up bread. And I mean,
when I was in high school, we went to a place and we'd get one soda, you get free refills, and you'd get free chips and salsa, and we would just literally make an entire balling on a budget. That was like we'd be there for like 2 hours, and the guy'd be like, "You seriously aren't going to order actual food?"
No,
more chips, please, and another Coke.
Yeah, exactly. While I'm here. The stuff you would eat to get by, like you could just get by with anything at that
top
age.
ramen, like college days and stuff. Yeah.
I mean, what's in the drawer? I don't know. I'll find something.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Figure it out.
Yeah. Balling on a budget.
Yes. What's coming up on the show today, guys?
Man, so much Niners talk.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, Hittner, I love you. First of all, he's very scary, but he sounds the opposite of scary.
Yes.
And then Richard Sherman's jumped in. Did we forget that the Niners fans hated Sherman when he was in Seattle?
Yep.
Now all of a sudden he's like
their guy.
He's like the ambassador of the 49ers. And I know he played there towards the end of his career, but we got comments from him where Purdy's at. People are talking MVP. We got all sorts of stuff. Plus
Chris Peterman at 11.
Kings basketball.
Nice.
Yeah, and Chris Peterman at 11.
Yeah.
And we got Kings basketball on the horizon. I think they're going to have like 32 different starting lineups.
It seems like it at this point.
Yeah.
Chris Watkins, are you trading Kirk Cousins now that Jefferson's going on the shelf?
I put that in fun in the 40s, and I'm like, that's not going to be fun for him.
That's not fun at all.
I'll change it. I'll cut it. I'll put it in something else.
It's definitely a growing possibility for sure. The Jets probably isn't happening. They don't have any first-round picks, but it definitely is a lame duck season for Kirk. He doesn't have any guaranteed contract going into next season. So if there's ever going to be a time for the Vikings to kind of usher in a new era, it kind of feels like now would be an opportune time. Plus, they drafted Jordan Addison, who caught balls from Caleb Williams last year, if I'm not mistaken.
He did, that guy,
So,
yeah, they're in quarterback purgatory.
It's not great.
And whatever I would do, I would just run it by Jefferson. Whatever they decide to do, just let him decide.
Yeah, absolutely. They're ongoing contract extension talks between Jefferson and the Vikings, which has stalled since the season starts. So, definitely want to consult the big guy before you make any moves.
That makes sense. All right, it's October 10th. Before we get to celebrity birthdays, today is National Angel Food Cake Day.
Okay.
Man.
I don't think I actually know what angel food cake looks like.
I don't know. Is it like a pound cake? I don't know.
It's like fluffy. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan.
I'm out.
But how about, would you like to decorate the cake? Because it's National Cake Decorating Day.
I don't know that I've ever decorated a cake
I
in my
have
life.
not.
Never.
I've been the guy that, can I, sample the icing?
Yeah. My girlfriend likes to get videos of me cleaning the bowl. I'm a big bowl cleaner.
You got to test it.
That's my decorating.
That's my job.
That's my job in the cake making process.
That's a respectable job.
It is. Thank you, Dave.
Yeah, National Handbag Day.
It's a satchel.
It's a satchel. Yeah, you guys
immersed.
Any you got backpacks. We got backpacks.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I used to rock the fanny pack like in the early 90s, late 80s.
And that's kind of, I would say, I don't know, it's back, but it's in different forms. It's not even
around the waist.
The problem is people wear fanny packs across the
it's like a crossbody.
across the shoulder now. These kids these days.
National Walk to a Park Day. Okay. Need some work on those.
Is that like a replacement for take a hike?
Maybe.
Sort of. Walk to the park. Yeah, I like that. We could change that.
Do you guys get your steps in each day, or how are you in your mobility?
I just walk a lot in general, but I don't do any specific exercising.
You're just on the move.
I'm just pretty much.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd like to, but I don't.
I'd
hit
like
it
to, but I
daily.
just can't.
Yeah, sometimes it's just like the couch is so.
Are you a
nice.
counter? Like, do you have do you know how many steps you took every day?
Sometimes on your phone it has it. If I look, but I don't hey, did I make it? Just I don't know.
You know what I'm big on in terms of exercise, and I don't do it as much as I should, but because I hate actual full blown crazy exercise, bike. But if you get just a stationary bike, and in our business, right, we're constantly consuming content or whatever. You just plop it in front of watching ESPN or Fox or whatever, or a game or whatever, and you don't have to go crazy speeds.
Yeah,
just rack up the miles, rack up the burnt calories, whatever, and really, I don't feel like I had done anything,
right?
Because I don't really get crazy about it. I just get the heart rate going. Yeah,
Chris Verlaud, you did that a couple years ago. Maybe it was during COVID, right? Who was the person that was riding for the games?
Zach Harper.
Zach Harper was, and so
another Zach.
Yeah, then you took it on, and you're like, I'm just going to ride the entire game, right, on a stationary bike.
Yeah. Exactly.
How'd that turn out?
Fine.
Yeah.
Stop doing it.
Yeah, but you did it. Was it during COVID?
Yeah.
Or lockdown, I should say?
It was during the bubble.
Yeah, during the bubble. That's what it was. All right,
I thought we were making fun of Chris.
No, he legit. I know
swear,
you laughed.
Didn't Chris fall off of a?
I did. I didn't fall. It broke.
It broke. Sorry.
With a bike?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How come I don't know that story?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got
that's
really
what I thought we were talking about. I thought we were making fun of Chris actually getting hurt. I was
I make fun of you for fun stuff. You're like, hey, Chris, remember when you got really injured?
That was hilarious, dude. That was a sick burn.
Hospital?
Yeah, that was great.
All right, guys, let's do it. It's time for Celebrity Birthdays, brought to you by our friends at Crumble Cookies. Birthdays are meant to be spent with family and friends, and nothing brings family and friends together better than Crumble Cookies, unless you fight for those cookies. I could separate a good family.
True. Probably could.
Happy birthday
on
this October 10th to I'm trying to remember his name in the show. AC Slater, Mario Lopez from Saved by the Bell, and
he looks like he's 20.
I know,
but he's gonna be. See, I can do math on this because I was a huge Saved by the Bell guy.
Great show.
I'm gonna say 52.
52.
Say 47.
47.
Big 5-0 today.
Big 5-0. We've got a correct answer amongst the group, and it's Chris Verlaud, 50 for Mario Lopez.
He's like 9 for his last 10 or something.
He's on a streak.
Unbelievable.
Big Mario Lopez.
But does he know the correct age of Seattle Seahawks quarterback Geno Smith? Happy birthday, Geno. See the clip of him when Aaron Donald was blitzing down the middle?
Yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah.
That was
like one of those moments when the guy said, I'm seeing ghosts out there. You don't want to be mic'd up in those situations.
I loved his honesty, though.
31.
31 for Zachariah. What do you say, Chris?
I'll say 33.
33.
32.
Oh, 31, 32, 33. We're all close, but we do have a correct answer. And it is Chris Watkins. 33.
No.
You guys have 2 correct answers so far. Can we keep the streak alive?
Let's see.
With Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Oh, jeez. Can't really tell.
I know, because with drivers, they can drive forever.
Do drivers have a prime? I was in the,
Yeah, I just better on the gas. Yeah, then? I don't know.
I guess hand-eye maybe.
Probably.
52.
52.
Based on nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say 55.
47.
Chris Verlaud barely with the win, 49. Just by 1 year. Happy birthday to Brett Favre. Brett Favre.
Give those people their money back.
I'm out of cash.
56. 56.
Perfect timing on that.
We'll say Brett is Brett younger than Mario Lopez?
Doesn't look it.
He doesn't look it. I'll say 49. Why not?
You said 49. What was yours?
56.
Okay.
I'm going to say 58.
Zachariah with a win, 54 for Brett Favre.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to Josh Giddey of the Oklahoma City Thunder.
That's a tough one.
I'm just going to piggyback off Chris's guess because I have no idea.
Josh
22.
Giddey. That's a good
22?
guess. We'll say Josh Giddey is 20. We'll say 23.
I'm going to say 21.
21, 22, 23. We have a correct answer. Zachariah,
Wow,
21.
I cheated, though. I just took it off you.
He's already played
crazy.
a couple years,
That's
too.
nuts.
Man. Happy birthday to David Lee Roth of Van Halen. The first Van Halen.
No clue.
No clue?
Not a single one.
79.
You've heard of Van Halen.
I have heard of Van Halen.
Okay.
79.
79.
72.
72.
75.
You guys aged him a bit. He's 69. Christopher
Nice.
Laud.
Good job, Chris.
Happy birthday to, well, we'll leave politics aside, but he is our governor, Gavin Newsom.
Double
let's
nickel.
see here.
Oh, 55. Jay Will.
Let's see. Bruce Wayne is 53.
53, 55,
51.
51. Zachariah for the win. 56 for Gavin Newsom.
Nice.
Happy birthday to Andrew McCutcheon, Pittsburgh Pirates.
Nice. Kutch.
I think he's literally my age. I'm going to say 40.
40.
McCutcheon played this year, didn't he?
He did?
Wow, that's incredible. Yeah, 40 is probably a good guess. I'll say 39.
38.
All right. Christopher Laud for the win. 37.
Wow.
Andrew
Aged him a
McCutcheon.
smidge.
Kutch, it feels like he's been playing.
Young
forever,
buck.
too.
All right. How about Troy Tulowitzki, formerly of the Rockies? I don't know where else he went after that.
Yeah, I was like, he's not. Still
Okay,
playing.
so my buddy went to Long Beach with him. So
Oh.
I should literally be able to get this. I can't remember if he was older or younger.
He was a dirtbag.
I want to say
Long Beach Dirtbag. That's their names.
That's their names.
Well,
He
baseball.
I was like, there's no way that's their name.
I've heard stories that
Yeah.
39.
39.
I'll say 38.
40.
All right. We have a correct answer.
I think it's him.
It's you.
Me?
Zach,
All right.
39.
I didn't believe in himself.
No, I thought maybe it'd have been one year higher.
We will end with you guys pick Michael Carter Williams, former NBA Rookie of the Year, Ryan Hollins, who was once a King, or Marquez Valdez Scantling
Jeez.
of the Chiefs, I think. Yeah. Packers.
Oh, Chiefs
He's
now.
on the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So you guys can pick, or you can guess all of them if you'd like.
MVS 25.
For Scantling. Okay.
Okay, I'll say Ryan Hollins is 35.
Okay.
What was the other one?
Michael Carter Williams. How old is he?
No, 33.
All right, you were good. 32 for Michael Carter
Nice.
Williams. Hollins, you said what?
35.
39, and for Valdez Scantling, you said
25 of this?
29.
29.
Yes.
Dang, he's been in the league for a minute.
For a minute. All right, that's it for us. Thank you to Frankie Cardicelli. Thank you to Sean Salisbury. We'll be back tomorrow, but keep it right here because Zachariah and Chris Watkins coming your way next right here on Sactown Sports. See ya.
Are you a pizza guy?
Can the Niners build off their NFC Championship appearance from last season? How will the quarterbacks perform throughout the year?
Purdy back, now going to throw for the end zone.